And no one could talk to me about it because I'm like, you haven't seen it. I can't.
Well, I was doing just over a month ago, about 6 weeks ago, when I went up to Sunderland to do that audio play. As we were recording a bunch of them, and one of the actors who was in the booth, and we were watching him through the glass as he's acting, and then at the end of it, I seen him, and he just had a pen, and he started writing something on his hand, and then after the end of the recording, he just come up to the glass and slapped his hand on the window, and he'd written "not pennies both" on his hand.
Nice.
They came like a bolt out of the blue to discuss everything in geekdom. When Andy and Mike get together, it is the attack of the 50-foot nerds.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Attack of the 50-foot Nerds. My name is Mike Bell, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host,
Andy Weirs.
And welcome back to the Attack of the 50-foot Nerds podcast. I hope you've listened to episodes 1 and 2, and also to our Avengers special. They're rather good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
And we're going to carry on with the world of geekdom by covering this week's headlines. But first, I'm just going to say, Andy, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's not been too bad. It's obviously been like Free Comic Book Day, so been catching up with all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, I can't. I've had Connor, so I haven't been able to actually go out to the local comic store. But it doesn't matter. I managed to grab the books anyway, which
it's lucky for some with their postal orders. But I did myself actually did manage to get down to my local comic book shop, which would be Worlds Apart in Liverpool. A little bit of a plug for them there. I went down and bought about 30-40 quid's worth of books, and got my free stuff. I ended up getting the I think it's Bad Medicine, I think it's called. I can't remember the exact title off the top of my head. Aliens vs Dinosaurs, Avengers: Rise of Ultron, and the DC New 52 with the kind of origins of Pandora, the mysterious hooded figure who's been popping up.
Yeah, I got the Avengers and the 52 one. I got the other ones. I got were because I get all my comics from Superfly Comics in Ohio every month, which seems a bit weird seeing as I live in the UK. But I get 20% off everything because I'm a member of panelsonpages.com. I mean, it seemed pretty rude not to after I inquired to Tony, the guy who owns the store. I said, "Is it possible for you guys to set up a pull list for me?" And he goes, "Don't worry, we already did." So at the point I asked for a pull list, they'd already started preemptively pulling titles he knew I wanted.
Is that the same guy you sent the infamous fax to?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They had this whole thing going on. I can't remember why it started. They wanted. Tad said on the Superfly podcast that someone, as a joke, should fax a picture of their dick to Superfly, and then it turned into this random competition where Tony just starts throwing in all these random different things as prizes, like including there was they had one shirt left which was from this whole Tony was right thing, which I think could have been a Civil War like related
right
shirt.
A few years old then.
Yeah. Tad threw in his like artist sketched cover version of the number 1 of the Godzilla series that IDW released last year.
Nice.
As well as a T-shirt he got in the promotional bundle, which was a T-shirt promoting Frank Miller's Holy Terror.
Right.
Which he said, "I'm not wearing that. That shit is racist as hell." Because it's basically Frank Miller's Holy Terror, if you don't know, was a story. He originally pitched it as a Batman story, but seeing as the whole premise was Batman goes to Iraq and beats up terrorists, DC was like, no! So he basically just rewrote it as two of his own characters and said, fine, I'm releasing it myself then.
That's fair enough. It's like with Douglas Adams and Sharda, the Doctor Who story that he wrote that kind of got cancelled midway through filming because of the electrician strike. A lot of it exists. In fact, they put it out on VHS with Tom Baker doing linking narration. They've just recently released a book. Gareth Roberts finished a novel based on Douglas's notes and the actual script. That came out recently, and I believe the 2 Entertainment or BBC Worldwide, whatever they call themselves these days, are doing Sharda on DVD at some point. But what Douglas did, because Sharda was at that point never going to see the light of day, he decided to take a lot of elements from that script, including the character of Professor Chronotis, who's a retired Time Lord, and put them into one of his stories, which I can't for the life of me remember what. I think it might be a Dig Gently. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. But yeah, that's what he did with that. So I mean, the concept of reusing stories that have been rejected elsewhere is not an entirely new prospect.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but it's just a Frank Miller showed himself to be a complete bigot.
Wow.
Seriously. But yeah, there was a T-shirt promoting that. I've got like 5 copies now of Civil War: The Frontline Volume 2 because Tony basically did an order and Marvel were giving them like free with the order, and he was like, well, I don't want any, so screw it, I'm throwing 5 in this prize pool.
Okay.
And like a shitload of other stuff. And it got to the point where they were basically going, please, someone send us a fax. Make this thing end. Because Tony was going, if we don't have a fax before C2E2 convention, when we go there, I'm making someone show me their genitals in person. So I just decided, you know what, fine. They said, I'll just send it in, they can end it, and I get cool shit.
Fair enough, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I can honestly say I don't think we'll be running a promotion like that anytime soon, because I don't want to see anyone's junk, and please,
I don't mind.
For God's sakes, people don't take that as an invite to actually send us it, because I really don't. But if you do want to get in touch with anything that is,
if you do want to do that, just message me on Twitter for my
send Dandy, because I don't want it. But if you want to get in touch with the show, and you're more than welcome to do so, you can get in touch with us with a couple of different ways. First of all, the main way would be to contact us through our email, which is 50footnerds@gmail.com.
50 is a word.
That's right, yes. Or you can tweet us at 50footword.
50-foot words,
yeah.
50-foot nerds.
Yeah. You can tweet us at 50footnerds, or you can contact myself or Andy directly via Twitter. Myself being at Mike G Bell, that's MikeGBELL, and Andy, yours is?
Mine is Vaults of Extoth. Vaults of Extoth, spelled EXTOTH.
That's right. Okay, so with the housekeeping out the way, we're going to delve straight into the first section.
I've just realised I never asked you how your week is going, because we end up moving to the first section before I get a chance.
Very true. My week's usual, sir. Just normal. Go to work, come home. Actually, I tell a lie. Yesterday, I did go to my local group, the Doctor Who Merseyside local group. I'll say that again without stumbling over my words there. I went to
them like in one of our previous episodes.
That's right, yeah. The Merseyside local group is the local Merseyside chapter of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society. And we meet first Saturday of every month at the Cross Keys pub in Liverpool city centre. And we had our meeting this month, which was, we have a different theme each month. And this month was Ace, the Doctor's companion, because the main reason being because the Ace box set comes out tomorrow.
Right.
Some people had it early, which is why we were able to watch the story Dragonfire yesterday. We watched Battlefield, what was it? We watched Battlefield, Dragonfire, and Curse of Fenric. We watched them all yesterday, which are 3 belter stories, especially considering the lateness of the appearance of Ace. She only came in about 2 or 3 years before the end of the actual show in '89, so she first appeared in '87, I believe it was. So she had, I mean, thank God they brought her in because I was getting sick of Bonnie Langford. But there we go. So we had a good day there, and then I came home and was violently ill with a migraine and extensive vomiting. So that was always good. So that's why, I mean, I'm always on Twitter. I live on Twitter, but I was completely absent last night because of that. So anyway, that's my medical history. We're going to move in. We're going to move into the first section of the show, which, as always, is our people news.
Shriek in terror! It's time to discuss people in geekdom.
It's a good old favourite back up first in the people news this week, which is our old friend, and by old I mean old, Stan Lee.
Yes, Stan Lee. Let's see. What's he done this time?
Oh, Stan Lee, what have you done? Let's see. Okay, well, according to digitalspy.co.uk, Stan Lee has become embroiled in a new legal battle. His POW Entertainment company is facing a $3.6 million lawsuit. Lee and associates, including Arthur Lieberman and Gil Champion, are being sued by former associates Valerie Barth and Ron Sandman, who claim they lost out following a controversial merger early in POW's history. POW executed a reverse merger with Arturian Entertainment in 2004, which allowed it to skip the lengthy registration process on the path to becoming a publicly traded company. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Barth and Sandman's countersuit accuses Lee of participating in a conspiracy to inflate the worth of POW's assets at the time of the merger, fraudulently taking control of Arturian, and along with his partners violating numerous laws. So basically they've just said that he told them the company was worth X amount, but actually it was worth Y amount, and he's done them out of a load of money. So good old Stan there has decided he's not going to give them any cash and is suing them back instead. Oh, Stan. Oh, Stan.
Jesus.
I mean, for a guy who's, about 106 by now, he certainly knows his way around a courtroom.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, he's not the only person that's been in the courtrooms this week, as we've also had... do you watch Misfits there?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but...
So it's not a straight-out no like normal?
No, it isn't.
Ah, good.
I actually, which reminds me, my ex-wife, Zoe, listened to the first episode. And,
oh, really?
And she said one of her first her favourite moments was Andy, did you watch this? No. Jesus Christ!
Oh, there's
I
a lot
said
more
just
there.
listen to episode 2. It keeps going.
Well, thank you, you've actually seen some of these. I'll tell you what. Well, do you know the character of Kelly? She's the gobby one. She was the one who could. It was like psychic in the first series.
I think the main. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I remember it. I just remember being mainly put off by the fact they're all really chavvy, and I automatically found them annoying.
She is the chavviest of them all. Yeah.
So she's probably the most annoying one.
Yeah, well,
right, okay.
She's actually quite a really deep character by the time you get to the end of series 3 or 4, or whichever one it was. Yeah. It's
probably the same as, I'm going to have to push past that to appreciate it, the same with Attack the Block.
Oh,
I've still not seen that film yet, mainly because I saw the trailer, saw that it was full of chavvy kids, and then I was thinking, I can't watch this film. I'm going to be rooting for the alien the entire time.
That's why you need to see the film, is because it's so what would happen if an alien invasion happened on a council estate. It's so what would happen, man. It's brilliant. But, I mean, this... it's almost a case of life imitating art now, because the actress who plays Kelly, which is Lauren Socker, her brother's actually in Being Human.
Right.
No, he's the new werewolf in Being Human. He was also in This Is England. Now, Lauren Socker has, it's been announced, will not be back in Series 4 of Misfits. Channel 4's statement reads that they reached an agreement with Lauren earlier this year that she would not be returning for the 4th series. This announcement came the day after she's just been convicted for racially aggravated assault. And it's by no means connected, apparently. No, I say, it was agreed a couple of months ago. They just didn't bother to tell anyone until she'd come out of court. She was involved in a racially aggravated attack against a taxi driver in Derby City Centre in October of last year. I'm not going to read the exact quote as to what he said to him, but needless to say...
At first, because it was starred, I was kind of confused about a couple of the words.
Yes, there are quite a few starred out words in the quote. But put it this way, she doesn't like people with differently coloured skin. That's all we'll say.
I hate it when people act stupidly racist for no reason.
I know.
It's like a conversation I had at work. I said, there's no point in being racist because most of humanity, no matter what colour their skin, are usually selfish bastards anyway.
Exactly. We're all knobheads, so just get on with it. You know?
Exactly. I basically said, that's how I treat life, although I was told that outlook is rather grim. I was like, but it's realistic. Just every single person you meet, think to yourself, they're probably a dickhead, and wait for them to prove you wrong.
Well,
and then you're not going to be disappointed either.
Exactly, yeah. Well, she was suspended. She was sentenced to 4 months. Okay. She was sentenced to 4 months in prison, which has been suspended for 12 months, pending good behaviour. I believe she's also been sentenced to some community service, which is ironic considering what her character is doing in Misfits, i.e. the community service. I hope they put her in an orange jumpsuit. And I love the quote here from her mum. It said, her mother Kathleen Lyons apologised on Sokka's behalf outside the court, but claimed her behaviour was, quote, out of character. Not if that character is Kelly from Misfits. Oh, God. So yeah, no Kelly in Series 4, which means the only original character left is Curtis, who's fucking boring. He's just got no personality to him whatsoever. Even when they gave him the superpower where he could turn into a girl. And the girl got... Oh yeah, in series 3, they decided to switch up their powers. They met this, basically a dealer, who would switch up their powers. So Kelly decided she didn't want to be a psychic anymore and became a rocket scientist instead. What else? I'm trying to remember what else they had. Curtis got the powers to switch genders. I can't remember the rest of them off the top of my head. But
those powers make no sense.
Well, do you want to hear something even worse?
I get the superpower of being a rocket scientist. How does that work? Because does that mean a normal rocket scientist is a superhero?
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I honestly don't.
And how would...
There was a wicked episode though where this one guy goes to the dealer and decides he wants the power to travel back in time. So he goes back to Nazi Germany and kills Hitler.
Oh Jesus!
Or does he? I can't remember if he actually kills him or whether he tries to and fails. Anyway, whatever he... Oh no, he doesn't. No, he fails. But his mobile phone... they take his mobile phone and the Nazis... basically, they have technology from the future then which allows them to win the war. So the whole episode is set in an alternate present day where the Nazis have won. And by the end of it, Kelly actually goes back in time. She gets rid of her rocket scientist powers, gets the time travel power, goes back in time, and it stops the other fella, takes his mobile phone off him, and decides to headbutt Hitler. And she's got this great line where she goes, "Oi, Hitler!" Nuts him and goes, "Fucking Nazi!" Like that. Oh, it's well, that's funny. And she saves the entire course of history with a headbutt.
I still say the best time travel storyline I've seen that isn't Doctor Who, because that's basically Doctor Who's entire premise. Mm-hmm. Is the one where is in Red Dwarf, where basically they're using the time. No, where they're using the time hop drive
Oh, the JFK assassination.
Yeah, where they go back in time because
Tika to ride.
Lister wants curries, and they accidentally knock the
Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, out of the window, and then they're like, oh shit, he can't assassinate him anymore. So now there's an alternate future, and then they go back to a 6th floor or something.
Yeah,
to try and put him up there, and the bullets miss.
Yeah,
and then they're trying to figure out what they can do. So they go back in. They go into the alternate future, get the imprisoned JFK, bring him back to the past, and he becomes the shooter on the grassy knoll.
Yeah,
because I just like Lister's line after JFK's like, wait, so I'm going to assassinate myself. Just Lister saying, it'll drive the conspiracy theorists nuts, but they'll never figure it out.
Oh man, dude, that's a wicked
episode. At the end,
episode.
they just beat him up.
Yeah, that is a wicked episode. I love that one. I'm trying to think. Well, I was saying about the most messed up thing in Misfits. You think him turning into a woman is bad? He basically discovers masturbation for his female self, and he finds out how to get himself off. And what he does is he's doing it one time, and he has to switch back into a bloke just as he's about to get caught doing it. And basically, because he orgasms as a woman and a bloke at the same time, he gets himself pregnant.
What?
Yes, that genuinely happened in an episode of Misfits. So that's how he has to get rid of this switching genders power, so that he doesn't have a baby to himself. That is absolutely genuinely what happened.
Jesus Christ!
That's why you need to see this show. It's brilliant, man.
To be fair, no, I'm just gonna start falling into stereotypes about chavs, so I'm not gonna go any further.
Well, watch the show, man. You'll love it. And by the time
I've seen bits that they were halfway decent, and this whole storyline where some girl was trying to hang a couple of them or something, and it seemed halfway decent. It was just the fact that that the way that some of the characters were acting kind of put me off.
Oh no, there's some great episodes, man. You really should give it a chance. It's like there's one episode where, funny enough, Kelly again starts going out with this fella, and they try to have sex, and he gets all proper dead rough for her, and she's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And they end up, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." And they end up going to this fancy dress party, and she's there dressed as whatever, and he's dressed as a gorilla, and stuff happens, and he ends up kidnapping her, and he basically ends up having to climb to the top of this building with her, and he's like, something I needed to tell me, I'm not really a man, I was a monkey, and when everyone got superpowers, it turned me into a human. So he gets shot, and as he's dying, he turns back into a gorilla, so he's a gorilla in a gorilla costume. It's messed up, man. It's seriously messed up. But this
program sounds mind-bending.
It is. It's absolutely insane, but it's so good.
It has random shit going on.
The last series,
I didn't expect it from the premise.
The last series had a zombie cat.
The zombie cat?
Yes. Oh,
that isn't too bad. I've seen like undead animals before.
Yes, but the zombie cat then would bite people and turn them into zombies as well, and it turned a whole load of cheerleaders into flesh-craving maniacs.
I thought you were going to say it would transmogrify them into zombie cats as well.
No, it bites them and turns them into zombies. And I'd say there was a whole zombie cheerleader team. Oh, it's wicked. Such a great episode.
I'll have to watch Misfits then just to see what the fuck is going on.
And a girl eats a live lizard in the same episode.
That makes me think of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It's seriously, dude, you need to catch up. Get caught up by the time Series 4 comes out. I guarantee you will not. You will not. You will not be disappointed. Yeah. So well, that's only the people news that I've got this week. So we're going to fly straight through into the film section.
Thrills and chills abound in movie news.
And the first story we've got this week, our main headline, is going to be about the nominations revealed for the MTV Movie Awards, the 2012 Movie Awards. Now, I've not seen these, so I'm just going to go through them with yourself, sir, and we'll discuss. We've got the Movie of the Year. In the top category, we've got Bridesmaids, not seen it.
Nope.
Hunger Games, not seen it.
Not seen it, but I've seen both Battle Royale and The Running Man, so I basically understand the premise.
Yep, same here. Let's see. Oh, you know what they call the Hunger Games in France, don't you?
What's that?
Battle Royale with cheese.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck's sake.
Sorry, dude, I have to be... we've also got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows 2, which I have seen.
I haven't.
Got The Help, and we've got... I've no idea, I've never even heard of that. And we've got Twilight Breaking Part 1, and I never thought I'd say those words on this podcast. I apologise to all of our listeners.
Although, if you want to watch something that's really fucking hilarious, go onto riff tracks and watch the original Twilight with the riff tracks. I've watched that. That is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yes.
There's a bit where...
in fact, just go to rifftracks.com and just listen to anything there, because they're all hysterical.
Yeah.
I personally recommend Ocean's 11, because it's got Richard Cheese as one of the riffers on there, and I love him.
I need to watch that. The only one I've watched as a riff tracks is the Twilight one. And there's a bit in the original film, the two bits that I remember off the top of my head that really stood out, that had me and my housemate Daniel just pissing ourselves laughing, were there was one bit where Edward says something to Bella, grabs her, sticks her on his shoulders, and runs really fast up this hill, and it's supposed to lead to like a dramatic thing. But as soon as it happens, one of the guys starts going, which was hilarious. And then there's a bit where Edward's playing this whole thing on piano, and he just starts, and one of them goes, "Oh, here's just a song I wrote for you, Bella," and then just off the top of his head starts singing this whole song based on this vampire wanting to eat this woman alive. And he keeps going for about 2 minutes until the other guys go, seriously, stop now.
Oh, they have that.
It's amazing.
Do you watch Mystery Science Theater?
I've started watching it. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to get into riff tracks, because loads of people said Mystery Science Theater is awesome. Yeah. I've watched a couple of episodes. I ended up actually writing the word "spack'em" on a board at work because of that. No one understood what the fuck I was on about. I
think it's around about Series 5 that Joel goes away and Mike comes in full time.
Yeah,
and that's when it really kicks in for me. I love that.
Yeah, which one is the one that Walt off Tell 'em Steve Dave? If you don't know,
I think he likes Mike.
Yeah, I knew he liked one and not the other.
Yeah.
The ones the episodes I've seen have been from Series 1, so it's been with Joel.
Yeah.
So I want to watch all of them, but
if you want a good taster of it, check out Mystery Science Theater, the movie.
I'll have to,
because they do This Island Earth in there, and that's pretty good. And you've got but that's Mike and the robots. With Dr. Forrester and TV's Frank. They're the baddies in it, yeah. So, of those movies of the year for MTV, which one do we think is going to win?
I'm hoping Harry Potter.
Me too, that'd be my choice.
Because Bridesmaids I don't really have an opinion on. Hunger Games, from what I've heard, a couple of people have said it's halfway decent, but I've also heard...
I've heard people say they've walked out.
Yeah. I've heard Lee off of the panels off the podcast. He said that when he was watching it, the first 10 minutes there was like shots jumping about all over the place, and he was like, "Fucking stand still!"
Right.
And when you get that in a film, it's just
well, I know
it just irritates me anyway.
Yeah, Brian Quinn from Tell 'em Steve Dave and TV's Impractical Jokers. He said he was close to walking out.
Space Monkeys.
Oh, Space Monkeys, of course, yes. Yeah, he said he was close to walking out. He didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I was originally considering watching it, but then I heard negative reviews and then basically thought, fuck it, I'm going to watch Battle Royale and The Running Man instead.
Yeah, go for it, man. So we're choosing Harry Potter there then. I mean, I enjoyed that film. I
haven't seen it, but I've read the book, and from what I've seen of reviews and stuff of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, it seems like the most likely thing they're going to go for. But if I've got to go for a surprise movie of the year, then that choice will probably be Bridesmaids, because I've heard loads of people saying that was really good. I've just never seen it, so I can't really give an opinion.
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, do you know, I was thinking about Harry Potter, though, the only time I can't take it seriously now, because whenever I see Voldemort with the snake, I always think of Scott Mosier in one of the Smodcast episodes, I think it's with the reviewing Deathly Hallows, and he just does an impression of Voldemort, and he goes, Nagini! And it just makes me laugh. Oh god, I always howl laughing when I hear that. I did a day recently where I listened to all of the Forgeticus, Harry Scotter podcasts that they did, every single, I think there's like 5 in total. I was laughing my head off.
I actually, as a possible intro for a song for my grindcore band, Killer Rabbit, named after the Monty Python Killer Rabbit, there was one that I started that I came up with like lyrics and everything. We never got around to recording it because the other guy involved, Pascal, he's actually in like a signed doom metal band that's actually signed to a professional record label. So he hardly gets time. So I've hardly talked to him for ages.
Right.
But one track we came up with was based on that whole I think it was in one of the Harry Scotter episodes of the Smodcast where they're doing that whole "we'll remove their ears" thing, where they're like,
"Death by humiliation." Shame comes first. Then you have to tell people from your past, people from high school who are like, "What happened to your ear?" And you have to tell them a story. It's painful. Death by edge, your soul dies slowly. Ta-da!
That whole thing. I basically sampled that section. I was going to put this grindcore song after it, basically about removing people's ears.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Because I was like, most of the stuff we've written is pretty comedic anyway. Because I mean, the only track we've got as a fully finished, we've got 2 tracks that are fully finished recording, which was Human Flesh Mannequin, which was this 7-second thing, which we just recorded for the fuck of it, and then the other one was Necrophiliac Cannibal Rapist Duck, which was based on the whole thing where some guy got a Nobel Prize because he found out that ducks breed through so-called rape flights.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I've explained this before on both the podcast when I guested on that, and So You Think You Know, episode 39. So if you want a full explanation, either Google it or look for them.
But if you are going to Google duck rape, make sure it's not on a public computer. Just a way to avoid there.
Just search like Nobel Prize duck rape flights or something.
Yeah, because that's much better.
Well, it looks like you're researching something then. Anyway, we should probably move on.
Yes, let's move on, yes, because we've got a lot to cover, and we've only done one section of the MTV Movie Awards.
and then went on a massive tangent.
About duck rape. Well, okay, we'll go back to Best Female Performance now, and the nominees are Emma Stone for Crazy Stupid Love, Emma Watson for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows 2, Jennifer Lawrence for The Hunger Games, Kristen Wiig for, or as I like to call her from the Saturday Night Live intro, Kristen Wiig for Bridesmaids, and
one of us does all the sounder voices.
Well, no, I don't know what you're talking about there. And Rooney Mara for, which is a great name to say, for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So, of those films, again, I've only seen Harry Potter.
I've not seen any of them.
I've got to say, though, from what I've heard, I think Rooney Mara will take it.
Yeah, loads of people have said the girl with the dragon tattoo's good, but...
Yeah. If you don't know who she is, she was Nancy in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake that came out a few years ago.
I think I've seen bits of that.
Yeah, it's awful. It is, I'm sorry, but it is.
I haven't seen enough to make an opinion, so...
No, I think she'll take it.
Yeah. Although... the one I was hoping for, the one automatically caught my eye was Emma Watson, because she can pull a troll face.
Okay.
No, I just like Emma Watson. Although that does remind me of another thing. Thanks to listening to like the Princess Cast, which is another PCN show, and following half of them on Twitter. C-Pain, Captain Painway, Mary, one of the hosts of the Princess Cast, was talking about how she'd been rewatching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, as it is over in the US. Yeah, that's what I keep sending messages saying, "You mean philosopher?" I think they get annoyed by me.
It knows me on IMDb that it's down as Sorcerer's Stone. That is not the title of the book. Ugh.
No, it isn't. But yeah, she was saying how like there's loads of bits where, due to rewatching them now, like you can tell that her reactions were different. And then there's one bit where there's the shot up through a trap door that they're about to go in, about to go down, and she said she just looked up and went, "Oh, that's a rather blatant upskirt shot of a 13-year-old Hermione."
Okay.
And posted that on Twitter, and she said, "Now I feel uncomfortable." And I went, "What? You're lying. That makes no sense. I'm looking at this to see if you're just messing with me." And then, so she mentioned it on the Princess Cast, but the way she said it made me sound like a complete paedophile. I was like, "Great, thank you for that."
Well.
Anyway,
going to move away from any potential pedo talk and move into the male performance category, which we have Channing Tatum for The Vow. How he can even be considered an actor?
Sorry, you just said male performance, and I thought I've got a really bad joke that I should probably not say now.
Go on. Well, no, edited, so go at it.
I was going to say, I tell you what, when I rewatched that clip, I thought of male performance.
Oh. Okay, I may have to edit that out.
No, fuck it, leave it in.
No, I'm leaving it in, fuck it.
No, I really need to figure out how on iTunes to change our tag from clean to explicit.
Yes, definitely for this episode.
Because I know that I swear a lot anyway when recording podcasts, so...
I've kind of kept it clean so far, but fuck it. I don't care anymore. It's not like my dad can listen to it, so I'm not asked. Actually, do you know what? I asked in work if we could put it on the newsletter, just in case anyone in work wanted to listen to it, and they said, "Is it contain swearing?" And I said, "There's 1 or 2 swear words." And like, "No, we can't do it because of just in case anyone's offended by it or anything like that." I'm like, "Well, that's why I said, contain swearing, so if people are offended, they don't have to fucking download it." But I'm not allowed to be
fair. You could basically put on, there is swearing, but they're all not from our employees, because the swearing's usually me.
This episode so far, it's all me, so. Well, anyway, going back to male performance, which is...
Sorry that...
Stop it. Okay, we've got Johnny Viagra. He's up next.
Right. I'm sorry.
We've got Josh Hutcherson for the Cock Hungry Games. No, serious now. We've got Channing Tatum, who's a dick. He's in The Vow. He is not an actor. If you've ever seen G.I. Joe, he is not an actor. He's just a bloke they put in front of a camera. We've got Daniel Radcliffe for Harry Potter, Joseph Gordon-Levitt for 50-50, Josh Hutcherson for Hunger Games, and Ryan Gosling for Drive.
Ryan Gosling's going to get it.
Really? See, I would have given it to Levitt there. to Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen 50-50, but I've seen
That's all right.
loads of people praising Ryan Gosling, especially for Drive. So
See, also you got to remember, has Daniel Radcliffe ever won one for a Harry Potter film for the MTV Awards? Because generally, if they're going like they did with Lord of the Rings, he didn't give it the director, best film Oscar until the third one had come out, until the journey was complete. So I don't know if they've give Radcliffe one before. They may give him one just because he's not had one.
Maybe.
So, well. But for me, it's going to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. For yourself, you're saying Gosling now, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon.
Okay, well, we shall revisit this when the awards come through and see how we did. Okay, best breakthrough performance. We've got Elle Fanning for Super 8, Melissa McCarthy for Bridesmaids. I don't know who she is. I'm guessing she's the big fat one. Liam Hemsworth, which is Thor's brother, for The Hunger Games. Rooney Mara for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She shouldn't be technically on that list. And Shailene Woodley for The Descendants, which I've not seen.
No.
Of those, I'm going to go with Elle Fanning.
Which one is she in Super 8?
She's the girl.
Idiot. For some reason, I thought there was
She's
more than one
Dakota's
of them.
sister. Dakota Fanning.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. She's very good.
For some reason, I remember there being more than one chick in that film.
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of one of them's older sister. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
No, she was the girl in the main group.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen the end of Super 8.
Really?
I watched most of it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it, and then I had to give the DVD back. So I really need to watch the end of that.
It wasn't this generation's E.T. that a lot of people were saying. It certainly wasn't that for me. But
no, it wasn't. But I mean,
good.
I was watching it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is based on the very original version of the E.T. script," and I'm watching it going, "Wow, this is completely fucking different."
Oh, that's what I'll need to do one week. As I've got a book there for the greatest films never made. I've got a book there. I'll bring you to one of the podcasts, and we'll discuss some of the films that never got made. Yeah, just remember.
Yeah. Though, why is that in there?
No, there is a story about the original script for E.T., but also about the script for E.T. 2. That was going to be
2.
Oh yes, yeah.
Please don't tell me that's the one where I'm really hoping someone was joking about that. So I think it must have been a joke. I cannot remember where I heard it. It would have been either a Smodcast or one of the Panels on Pages shows. I'm reckoning it's a Panels on Pages show where they're talking about, or maybe Cinema Snob, where they were talking about how E.T.2 was basically the white aliens would come down and kick the brown aliens off the planet and all this sort of shit.
Not quite. You're not far off though, but not quite. I'd say that's something for...
Or something, and it was like they were talking about it, and it was like, it sounded completely racist, and I was like, I don't know whether this is is the truth or a complete joke.
I'll remember to bring it for the next episode. So what we thinking there for breakthrough? I think it's either Elle Fanning, or if Rooney Mara doesn't get best performance, you'll probably get breakthrough. Yeah,
I'm hoping Elle Fanning.
Yeah. Best comedic performance. We've got Jonah Hill for 21 Jump Street, Kristen Wiig for Bridesmaids, Melissa McCarthy for Bridesmaids, Oliver Cooper for Project X, and Zach Galifianakis for Hangover Part 2.
I've not seen any of those films.
I've only seen Hangover. So.
I've never been a fan of the Hangover movies.
Have you not? Oh,
no.
I watched the Hangover one when I had a really horrible hangover. I went to a wedding in Manchester, and I was absolutely destroyed the next day. My girlfriend at the time, she was oh god, she was worse than I was. I had to drive back from Manchester though, and I remember we got back because it was a wedding for a certain person in the public eye whose name I won't mention. But if you're familiar with certain Channel 4 programming, she's on that. And her wedding was
tell me after
I will tell you afterwards, don't worry. Yeah, her wedding was actually covered on that 4 Weddings, that Living show.
Okay.
Yeah, Celebrity 4 Weddings, and I say we went to the wedding, and oh god, we got just absolutely destroyed. And but the next day coming back, I'd say we completely hungover. So I put on The Hangover, and it was just the best cure. The best cure, man. I had a hangover. I got a big fat burger from Frankie and Benny's. We went in there, ordered it, and got it to go. Because we just needed to get back to Liverpool, well, back to Birkenhead at the time, as quickly as possible. She passed out on the couch, and I ate my burger. And watched, I ate my burger, I ate some, Krispy Kreme donuts, and watched The Hangover. It was perfect for me. Oh, yes.
I basically just saw the adverts and thought, no, this is the type of movie that I know I probably won't enjoy.
I'll do.
Though I'll probably
you need to see the first one at least.
I'm going to. I think I am going to watch it just to see whether I'm mistaken about that or not, because I do have a tendency to watch trailers and go, yeah, this sort of looks like something that might annoy me, so I'm going to at least wait for the DVD, because then if it does get to the point where I'm thinking, this is shit, I can just turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I'm not paying to go. Yeah,
give it a try.
So
what do we think?
For that category,
yeah,
I have no idea. I'm going to go with the guy from The Hangover Part 2, just because everyone seemed to love that film.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay, so we're going to go for Best Ensemble Cast next, which we have 21 Jump Street, we have Bridesmaids, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, The Help and The Hunger Games. So it's basically the same 5 films, keep getting nominated over and over again.
Yeah.
That one, oh god, it's either going to be, because people loved it, Bridesmaids or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, Harry Potter's got pretty much every British actor you can think of in it. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that one.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I reckon they'll probably end up going for Harry Potter, but I'm not sure they'll go for Potter or Bridesmaids.
Right.
I don't know which one to go for, so I'll go the opposite to you and say Bridesmaids, just to see which one comes up.
We've got Best On-Screen Transformation. Which
Optimus Prime better be in this list.
Unfortunately not. We have Colin Farrell for Horrible Bosses, Elizabeth Banks for The Hunger Games, Johnny Depp for 21 Jump Street, Michelle Williams for My Week with Marilyn, and Rooney Mara for Girls with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, when they say transformation, I'm assuming just like prosthetics work or, costumes, so they don't look like how they normally do.
I presumed it was like like
American Werewolf in London kind of deal.
No, I presumed they meant like character, like at the beginning.
Oh.
His character was all timid, and by the end they're a
this
superhero.
This is the MTV Awards, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
From these.
Fair point.
These are
and I was like, well,
because
I was thinking, because if that's the definition for transformation, why are they noting the actors? Because it was the writers who told them to do that.
Well, yeah.
But
off that list, for me, the only one that I can think of would either be Rooney Mara or Michelle Williams, because apparently in that she's the spitting image of Marilyn Monroe. She basically just embodies her, which isn't easy.
I thought you were going to say Marilyn Manson at first.
Yeah, my week with Marilyn Manson is just screaming in her face for 90 minutes. Monday, Tuesday, No, I'd see that film.
Except for the one day where they hang out outside the Power Rangers power chamber to film a music video.
Okay.
Have you not seen? Well, I don't take it that you're a Marilyn Manson fan, but there was one of the videos for his Mechanical Animals album. I think I can't remember what song it was. Could have been Dope Show, but they filmed it outside that observatory, which is the same observatory they used to represent the Power Rangers, like power chamber from the outside. So I remember just watching that and going, what the fuck? The Power Rangers are in the background.
This is in the background, you can just hear, Rangers, help me.
Yeah.
Like one of bloody
report to the viewing globe.
Yeah. Ay, there's an idiot outside just in strange leather clothes on.
For some reason, there's a man with tits. Etc.
That's going to be the post-credits clip this week.
Fuck it, it's going to be the pre-credits clip this week.
Well, yeah, my pick for that's probably going to be Michelle Williams.
I have no idea what any of them look like, so I'll just go with the same as you.
Okay. Best fight. We've got Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill versus Kid Gang in 21 Jump Street. Daniel Radcliffe versus Ralph Fiennes in Harry Potter Part 2. Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson versus Alexander Ludwig in The Hunger Games. We've got Tom Cruise versus Michael Nyqvist in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And Tom Hardy versus Joel Edgerton in Warrior.
I'm going to go for Harry Potter again.
Do you know what? I'd probably go for Tom Hardy in that one. Tom Hardy versus Joel Edgerton in Warrior. I think that would be the one I'd go for there.
I've not actually seen The Warrior either.
I've only seen bits. I've seen that fight.
Wait, what's the film?
Warrior. It's about I think it's MMA or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
Right. For some reason, I saw the title Warrior and imagined swords and all that sort of crap.
Right. Well, we're going to go now to the best kiss section.
There's an award for the best kiss.
Yes,
what the hell?
This is the same movie award you thought had the best character arc development award. Come on, dude. What do you expect? Okay, so we've got Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams in The Vow. Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson in The Hunger Games. Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart in Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn.
Die.
Rupert Grint and Emma Watson in Harry Potter. Or Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone in Crazy Stupid Love. Again, the only one I've seen on the list, I'm going to have to go for Rupert Grint and Emma Watson.
Yeah, I reckon that would hopefully be it, but
it's been the culmination of
they'll probably go for Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. I've not seen that. I'm just going with the fact that it's those two.
Yeah.
Those two there, and they seem to be really popular.
Want to see beautiful people kiss on screen? Then watch this movie.
Precisely.
Okay, now we have the best gut-wrenching performance. Okay, best gut-wrenching performance. We have Jonah Hill and Rob Riggle in 21 Jumps. That's the best name. Rob Riggle. Jeez, I like that. We got Chris.
It sounds like a bizarre rapper name.
Yeah,
it reminds me of the rapper like MC Mouse in the children's cartoon series Rasta Mouse called Bag of Tea.
Okay. Let's see, we've got Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Rose Byrne, Melissa McCarthy, Wendy McClendon Covey, and Ellie Kemper in Bridesmaids.
What the hell could all of them have done at the same time?
We've got Ryan Gosling, Bryce Dallas Howard in The Help. Ryan Gosling was for Drive, and Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 4. Again, I'm probably going to have to go with Bridesmaids because everyone loves that.
Yeah, probably.
We've got Best On-Screen Dirtbag. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard in The Help.
Is that actually how it's...
That's genuinely the name of the category, yeah. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard for The Help, Colin Farrell for Horrible Bosses, Jennifer Aniston, Horrible Bosses, John Hamm for Bridesmaids, and Oliver Cooper for Project X. Just because he's a tit, I'm going to say Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's like you said last episode, I believe. The only memorable line he's got so far is, "I want a damn costume."
No, it's, "I want a fucking costume."
That was it.
That's it. So I'm going to go with him. Yeah. And then Best Music. I
just looked at this and immediately wanted to kill myself.
Well, we've got Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO for 21 Jump Street, A Real Hero by College with Electric Youth for Drive, The Devil Is in the Details by the Chemical Brothers for Hannah, Impossible by Figurine for Like Crazy, which I've never even heard of, and Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi, the Steve Aoki remix for Project X.
I'm going with Chemical Brothers just because they're the best musicians out of that list.
I have to say that I saw the trailer for Project X and the music in that is amazing, so I'm going to go with that.
Because this is MTV, though, I fully expect it to be Le Mafau.
Well, because it's MTV, I'm surprised they've actually got a music award scene because they don't actually play any bloody music anymore. Makes me laugh that they have the MTV Music Awards for a station that doesn't even play a music video. What's that about? What is that about? Well, fine, we'll have to come back to this when the awards have been announced. They are held on the June the 3rd. So we'll on our the first episode after the awards, we'll come back to the list and see how we did.
Indeed. Let's hope that they aren't as bad as
we think
we expect them to be.
Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of whiz through the next few stories because we spent so long on this. The next story I've got is it seems apt considering we had our Avengers special this week. Is Marvel look to be bringing us another solo Hulk film? Now, considering that they'd said that after the Incredible Hulk that they weren't focusing on doing a solo Hulk film, and they had the TV show, the new TV series in the works. That the only time we were going to get to see him was in the Avengers, but because of the reaction that he's had, everyone seems to love him. We could be having a new movie in the franchise in 2015. I certainly would enjoy that. And especially, I mean, if they can get Joss Whedon to write it, because he just got it. He just got it completely. But I say we've covered that in the Avengers podcast, so not really something that I want to dwell on here.
No, but hopefully, it makes sense for them to do another Hulk movie, because that's fully what I expected if they were going to go into Avengers 2.
Well, they'd
do movies for for all of the main Avengers again.
Yeah. I mean, they set it up at the end of the first one.
Yeah,
we need to see the leader.
And then maybe, you know what would be awesome before the next Avengers? They should do a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie which the main focus is on like Black Widow and Hawkeye.
That'd be good.
They need to do that, and Nick Fury, because then they could do that as just talking about like their solo missions or something. Maybe have like Iron Man pop in.
I think they've said they're not going to do cameos. I think they've said they're not going to do it, because one of the things they've said about Iron Man 3 is, well, if Iron Man gets into all these problems, what's to stop like Captain America popping in to help him, or Thor popping in to help him? So they're saying they're going to put them in situations where the other Avengers can't physically come in and help them.
Yeah.
So,
fair enough. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next story, and that I've got here is taking us back to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Apparently, he's reportedly developing a remake of Little Shop of Horrors.
Huh.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be a remount of the musical version or a redo of the original 1960 film, the Roger Corman film, which I believe had the first on-screen appearance of Jack Nicholson in it, that one. And is absolutely dreadful if you ever get to see it. God, it's awful. But I mean, I love the 80s, the musical version.
I've never seen it, mainly because I don't like musicals.
Oh, dude, you need to see it. I mean, it's got such amazing songs. Like, you've got Suddenly Seymour, you've got Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, Feed Me. There's so many fantastic. Oh, the Dentist song. Oh God, I went to see it. I saw the stage musical. A couple of years ago now, and it had which one is she? She was the girl in 2.4 Children. The daughter in that. She was in it. It had. Do you remember the Scottish fella in EastEnders who used to beat his wife up?
No.
He used to beat up Little Mo. I forget his name now, but he was in it. He was playing the dentist.
Okay.
And Sylvester McCoy was in it as Mr. Mushnick.
Okay.
Yeah, he was funny. He can't sing worth a dime, but he's brilliant. And and they had like a full, puppeteered plant and everything like that. It was fantastic, dude.
I've seen clips of that plant.
Oh God, no! Seeing it in person on the stage, and I was about maybe 5 rows back from the front. It was. I've honestly have no idea how they did it. It was perfect.
Nice. It
was really well done. I mean, some of them, you could tell, like, when he picked up the plant when it was tidy, you could tell he was puppeteering it from underneath Seymour. But Yeah, it was really good. Really, I very much recommend that if it ever comes around your way, and especially to any of the listeners as well. Go and see it. You will not be disappointed. It's absolutely brilliant. So we've got that there. Yeah. So yeah.
I've no idea how what he'd do to change it though. Really.
I don't know. I could see him as being a Seymour type character if he could go back to doing the Navy.
I'm presuming they can't really redo the musical, so I'm presuming he'll go for like completely remaking the 1960s one and then
making it more of a horror-y vein.
Yeah.
We could see.
Something
I mean,
like
Rick
that.
Moranis was perfect as Seymour, though, I've got to say. But ho-hum. We're going to move on to the next story then, which is about Star Trek 2, or Star Trek 12, or whatever it is. Apparently it's
Star Trek 2.02.
That's what we'll call it. Star 2 Wreck. Yeah.
Jeez. I really hope they don't start doing that as a trend with the titles.
I was talking to my yesterday. He was saying the new one should be called Transformers.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of Too Fast, Too Furious coming out, and then watching an animation on Newgrounds where someone had made a parody sequel called Three Thrust, Three Furious.
Well, we had Fast and
where basically
Furious,
every single word, it was like 3 and a 3, and then the words Fast and Furious both started with 3s as well.
With this, we've the story that I'm looking at here is said that it was a rumour. I believe it's actually been confirmed since that Benedict Cumberbatch is actually going to be playing Khan. Yeah.
God, he's got a load of shit going on recently. Then he's got obviously he's still doing Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
He's bloody Smorg.
Yeah.
And now he's Khan as well.
Khan, yeah. I read a story this week about him possibly being up for another part, but I can't remember what it was. And I read that he went to Marvel Studios this week. They were with Stephen Moffat. I'm told it was for an interview to go onto the Marvel website, but a lot of people are saying that's a cover for him to go in for an audition for Doctor Strange, which I can definitely see. Anyway, moving back to this story, Star Trek. So we've got Khan. Apparently, also we're going to see the first on-screen appearance of the Klingons in this new universe.
Cool.
Which would be quite cool. And there was some other stuff that I can't actually find at this moment, but yeah. So it remains to be seen whether we're going to have the original human-looking Klingons from the original series, or whether we're going to go for the Worf type with the ridgy heads.
Yeah. So that's what I'm presuming they'll go for, because that's kind of what they went for in the Star Trek movies, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I think Klingon, that's automatically what I think is Worf.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
Although I can't remember why in Next Generation Worf is one of the officers when in all the original series stuff they seem to be fighting Klingons.
Well, they said they've come to a truce with the Klingons or something
by that
like
point.
That. Yeah.
Ah, that was it. So.
Yeah. We're going to head in now. I'm going to bypass the next story I've got on the list because it really doesn't... Yeah, it's not really needed. I'm going to head straight into news about one of my favourite movie serials, which is Evil Dead. And the reboot that is currently being produced at the moment, we just had the official synopsis for the film could be released. Now, this is the movie that is being directed by, what was his name? Fede Alvarez, who directed the short movie Panic Attack, if you've ever had a chance to see that. It's also being written by him, co-written by him, I believe, and there was news that it was being script doctored by, what's the name now? The one who wrote Juno, Diablo Cody.
Yeah. Which,
as soon as I heard that, I wasn't best pleased about. But every other press release I've seen since, her name hasn't been on there. So it looks like they may have jibbed it off. But we got the official synopsis, as I say, and the synopsis reads as: 5 20-something friends become holed up in a remote cabin where they discover the Book of the Dead and unwittingly summon up dormant demons living in the nearby woods, which possess youngsters in succession until only one is left intact to fight for survival. A core cast of fresh young talent includes Jane Levy from Suburgatory as Mia, Shiloh Fernandez from Dead Girl and Red Riding Hood as David, Lou Taylor Pucci from Carriers as Eric, Jessica Lucas from Cloverfield as Olivia, and Elizabeth Blackmore from Legend of the Seeker as Natalie. None of those characters were in the original Evil Dead.
I was going to say, wait a second, who the fuck's Ash then?
Well, apparently
So,
they're saying that the
obviously
Mia character will be the Ash character, but from reading previous synopses, it's basically they go to the cabin in the woods because Mia is on drugs, and they basically take her there to help her kick them cold turkey. And then it's saying that she reads from the Book of the Dead, and they don't know whether she's possessed or not, which doesn't really make sense if she's supposed to be the Ash character, as you know. But anyway, so we'll have to see about that. Whether or not I agree with doing a remake, I won't know until I've actually seen it, because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I mean, above my bed in my house right now is the poster for Evil Dead 2.
Awesome. Although the way they're doing that, it sounds like they could release it as less of a remake and more of a spin-off.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
it sounds kind of more like less
could be
like a
what's
remake
yeah.
of like the original, and what with everything being different, sounds kind of like what Avatar Press did in the comics with Garth Ennis' series Crossed, where he released a series based in this based around this one story, and everyone's being infected by this crossed virus.
Right.
And he said, right, this is going to be the end of that story. I don't want anything else. I don't want anyone doing sequels or anything like that. But then he was approached with the idea about, what about getting other writers to do other stories based in the same universe? And he's like, well, in the same world. And it's like, well, seeing as the crossed virus will affect loads of things all over the world, it wouldn't just be the one story. That makes sense. So then they started releasing like crossed psychopath, crossed family values and stuff, and all of these different comic series based on different stories involving different like characters and families and stuff within the same world. So I'm presuming that with Evil Dead they could just do it as that, like some other...
Well, the cabin is still left standing at the end of Evil Dead 2, so you could just say this is, 20 years later.
Yeah, and they go in and they find the book.
Yeah. But,
so then that explains why none of the original characters are there either.
Well, there's rumours that Bruce may make an appearance, a cameo appearance as Ash, but we'll see. He's been suspiciously quiet whenever anyone's asked him about it on Twitter. But that's not the only Evil Dead news I've got this week. It's like buses, you wait for ages and two come along at once. I've got a story from shocktillydrop.com. They report that Sam Raimi, who is currently producing the remake of Evil Dead, is suing Award Pictures because apparently Award Pictures wants to make Evil Dead 4. Now, they're saying Award Pictures isn't laying down. The company is using Raimi's comment in a 2000 published book that he would never do a sequel as proof that the Evil Dead trademark was abandoned. The company now says that it is the primary trademark holder of the film title. The lawsuit could be a warning to all those in Hollywood who attempt to lower expectations among fans and media for a sequel to a cult hit. Now it says that the quote from Raimi is from the Evil Dead Companion by Bill Warren, which I actually have a copy of. And he does actually say in an interview in that book that yes, he's never going to do another Evil Dead film. Now it says basically that what Award Pictures are saying is that, oh, well, he said he's never going to do it, so the trademark's up for anyone, so I can go out and do an Evil Dead film.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit.
That doesn't make any sense. No, it's not right. I mean, the Evil Dead, the musical, if you ever get a chance to see that, I have the CD, the soundtrack CD, and I have a copy of one of the productions of it, and that is hysterical. Now, I actually had the chance to buy the UK rights to the Evil Dead musical a few years ago now, and I could have got them for £10.
For the Evil Dead musical?
Yes. No, it's...
Okay.
Have you not... Do you not even know about this?
No.
It's fantastic. It's like Little Shop, but Evil Dead. There was rumours a while back that they were going to do the Evil Dead musical as a film in 3D, and that would have been, the latest Evil Dead film. Yeah, so don't know why it never went ahead, which I certainly would have loved to have seen it, but if you ever get a chance, watch it, because it's genius. I mean, some of the songs like Cabin in the Woods, S-Mart Employee, Goddamn You Woman, Do the Necronomicon. They're brilliant. Yeah, Do the Necronomicon is actually. I mean, they say in the song it's a rip off of the Time Warp, because it's like there's a line in there. It's just like the Time Warp. What? Only better. So yeah, it's wicked, and they have a whole dance routine in there, and it's fantastic. Yeah, you should seek that one out, mate. But so yeah. Essentially, they're saying anyone who says, I'm not going to do any more sequels, it's up for anyone else. So Sam's taking them to court and saying, no. It's like if James Cameron were to say, I'm never going to do another Terminator film. It's like me going, okay, well, I'll do one then.
Yeah, that is kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah. But there we go. Now, we're going to head into possibly two of the biggest pieces of news this week. First of all, we've had the release of the new trailer for The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, we took a look at this earlier, sir. What did you think to this?
To the trailer, it actually looks pretty fucking cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to it a lot better than a lot more, should I say, than I was previously, because at first I figured that it was just going to be the same sort of thing as before, where it was just like, oh yeah, this is the origin of Spider-Man, blah blah blah. Except this time he's got web shooters rather than weird genetic shit.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered this in episode 1, some of it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, after seeing the trailer, the storyline looks completely different.
Oh, yes.
And I'm really intrigued as to where they're going, especially because they're like, he's flying around. They've got Gwen Stacy instead of Mary Jane. And
they're doing it properly this time. Starting from the beginning.
They're like,
and she seems to know
about his parents and stuff. Yeah, and she seems to know he's Spider-Man. And I'm just really curious as to what the frig's going on. And then at the end of the trailer, they're like, oh, you don't know who you really are and all of this, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
I hope they're not taking it in the same direction as they took the Ang Lee Hulk film, where his dad experimented on when he was a kid. I hope they don't do that. I really, for God's sake, hope they don't do that. Because that was the worst part of the Hulk film for me, the Ang Lee version, was the fact that, he was predestined to become the Hulk. Like, I don't want Peter Parker to be predestined to become Spider-Man. I want it to just be something unfortunate that happened to this kid one day, and he's had to live with the consequences for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I'm really, what's the word now? I'm really hoping that they don't go down that route. But it looks okay. I mean, they brought some comedy back in this one. I mean, I don't know about you, but that line where...
We found my weakness. It's small knives.
That made me laugh. That made me laugh.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be a complete smart ass like he should be, yeah. Because that was one thing that was never in the Sam Raimi ones. He wasn't as much... When he was Spider-Man, he wasn't a really complete smart-ass like he is.
Yeah, the only time that they did it was in Spider-Man 1, where he's in the wrestling match, where he's throwing a few lines at Macho Man.
Yeah, whereas this other one, he sounds like he's in the same as in the comics, where he's just like completely sarcastic all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen pictures of fucking Spider-Man where he turns up and they're like, and you are, and he goes, that's right, I'm Batman. And you're like, wait, what?
But there's a line in the Avengers book from Free Comic Book Day where Captain America finds out that the Beast is actually a member of SWORD. And he's like, oh, is anyone else a member of any secret organizations? And Spidey just goes, I'm a level 43 in World of Warcraft.
Well,
and
like,
Captain America goes,
like
what's that? He's like, he's only messing.
In Moon Knight, they're talking about, Echo is talking about Moon Knight to the Avengers and saying, has anyone ever actually dated Moon Knight? And then all the girls go, no, and Peter Parker goes, a little. And like the whole the Daredevil Spider-Man crossover thing, like storyline where Daredevil's getting off with Black Cat on a roof, and then you just see it cuts down, you see Spider-Man's seen it. He says something along the lines of, I think this is going to be my supervillain origin. Stuff like that. He's a complete smartass, and
he's brilliant.
I'm really glad that that's going to happen in the
yes.
in the movie if he keeps up with it.
Yes, I hope so. Well, that wasn't the only trailer we had come out this week. We also had The Dark Knight Rises. Now that was brought about from the viral marketing campaign that they had this week.
Yeah,
which was kind of underwhelming, really, to be honest with you. But,
I did notice that trailer. I was like, where the fuck? This is supposed to be a Batman trailer. Where the fuck is he? It's all Bane.
I was very disappointed in the trailer. I'll be honest with you. Nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. The only kind of action scene we get is the football stadium collapsing to the ground. Well, we've seen that already. You know. As for Bane, I mean, we actually get to hear Bane speak now. Which, if you've seen the prologue, you'll know that he was difficult to understand in that. But in this one,
I never had a problem understanding him, but quite a few people seem to.
I mean, what was the line I mentioned to yourself earlier? Sort of like,
I'm Gotham's reckoning.
If you listen to him in this trailer, he sounds like he says, "I am Gotham's rectum ring."
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah. If you watch the trailer, take another look at it and listen to that line. I swear to God, he does say he still sound like he says, "I am Gotham's rectum ring." Yeah. I mean, there's a moment in there I said to yourself there, Batman says a line, or rather Bruce Wayne says a line.
Why didn't you just kill me? Your punishment must be more severe.
And it seems to me like that's the moment where Bane has broken his back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you don't get to see him from the neck down, so he may be in his costume, but he may not. We don't quite know. But I mean, then you see Bane walking away, and he's holding what's left of Batman's mask in his hands. So he's clearly unmasked him at some point. I think that's the point, and he's just broken his back.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. As for the rest of the trailer, some good shots of Catwoman. You get to hear her speaking. She seems to have the character down quite well. But as I say, the whole trailer itself left me kind of underwhelmed.
I thought it was pretty cool. I'm still looking forward to it, but I'm gonna wait until we actually get to see it. Yeah, true. So that's probably what film I'll see for my birthday this year.
Ah, right. Well, for my birthday this year, I'm going to the theatre. I'm going to see Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy live on stage.
Oh!
Aye.
That is actually a thing.
Oh, yeah. Have you not seen it? You need to check it out.
No.
It's the radio series version done live on stage with the original cast.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
Apart from the guy who played Ford, because he's dead. But they got a guy who played in one of the albums instead to do it. And Simon Jones is back playing Arthur Dent. And apparently he said he's going to be wearing the actual dressing gown from the TV series and everything.
Cool.
And they've got like a live band doing the music. They've got live people off to the side doing live sound effects and everything. So I'm going to see that.
That sounds pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's the day before my birthday as well. So yeah,
nice.
I'm really excited to see that. I said to my mate, I'm going with my mate Paul, and we said, okay, we have to wear dressing gowns and we have to take towels with us. It's
That'd be awesome.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I recently watched rewatched the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, but now because of it, and my brother lent me the audiobooks of it that he's got, my iPod wallpaper now, when it's not on charge, when I plug it in, when I switch it on, it's just big and blue and just says "Don't panic" in massive letters on it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I to this day I still have so long and thanks for all the fish on my iPod. I love that song. Not the version that's sung during the credit sequence. The version at the end sung by the Divine Comedy. I love that version. The swingy lounge version. Oh, it's brilliant. Well, that's the end of the film section. We're going to head on now into Andy's section, which is all about comics.
Squirm in fear. It's time to talk comics.
Yeah, basically the place to start here is where we started at the beginning of the show, which was Free Comic Book Day. Because obviously everything goes off then, which also reminds me of a rant that it was obviously Walt having on the Briarwalk Q thing,
yes.
Which I agree with, and I know loads of people who do.
I'm certainly looking forward to
hating people who just walk into the comic book shop, grab all the free books, walk straight back out.
Oh, that's the good thing about my local shop is that they didn't have them there for people to just grab. What you had to do is, first of all, you had to buy something, and second of all, you had to ask for your free comics. You don't ask, you don't get.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I know with Superfly, they usually have like a whole fucking massive event going off. I know this year they had the artist Rusty Shackles there again. They usually have. I know one Free Comic Book Day. I think they could have. They've had people like MC Chris and Adam Warrock, the nerdcore rappers, actually like play gigs in their shop and stuff.
The minute you said MC Chris, I've just gone on a tweet by Kevin Smith talking about MC Chris.
Huh, weird.
But
yeah, they have all sorts of shit like that going on. And like I said earlier, I got all my free comics ridiculously early compared to all of you lot who had to wait until the local comic shop actually gave them you. I got a load of them, but I'm presuming the only reason I got about 10 is because my comic bill for the month is usually so high. Tony decided, best give him these, because in single issues alone, my comic bill for the month usually comes out at like $110, which is why I'm glad my sister, seeing as she reads some of them, helps pay for it.
Right. So you're right. Yeah, if you're going to read them, you've got to pay for them, yeah.
Yeah, we only just decided that, and so she splits the costs with me on the books that she reads. Unfortunately, they're about 7 of the 15 DC books that I get, one of which is finished now, and they're all the $2.99 ones, so all the $3.99 books I have to pay for myself, as well as like all the ones from all the other companies. So, but with comics, it's the type of hobby where it's expensive, but it's bloody worth it.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, with the Free Comic Book Day, one specific giveaway that has been happening that's caused a load of people to be excited is the one given out by that was done by Archaea Comics. They went all out. I've not heard of them before until this, but this year their free comic book was actually a hardcover book that had like a load of stories in, and everywhere I've seen like so far everyone's loved it. I've read that one myself. I took it to work to read. I liked all of the stories in there. I want to check out Cowboy now by Nate I can't remember his last name. He's on Twitter as Nate Cosboom.
Right.
Yeah, his whole thing, Cowboy, is pretty cool. Where it's like the way it's presented is kind of like a kid's book, but it's like got adult themes and stuff in it as well, and it's really awesome. There's a mouse guard tale called The Tale of Baldwin the Brave, which is pretty cool. There's one based in the world of Labyrinth,
right,
called Hoggle and the Worm, which is pretty cool as well. That was one of my favourite ones in there. I kind of want to read some more stuff if they do it as if they're doing Labyrinth as a full series.
Right.
And there's a story called Time of the Dapper Men, and reading that, it seems that's a story that's been going before, reading reviews and stuff. But I read that story was a complete mindfuck. I had no idea what was going on, but it was enough to be like, I'm really curious about this just because I want to read it to find out what in the crap is going on. So it's one of those ones where you're like, I have no idea what any of this is, but I'm intrigued. Go on. And there's the other two in there that were Rust and Cursed Pirate Girl, both of which I really want to read. And Rust is basically this story about how there's these guys working on this family working on this farm. It's got something to do with a war that's gone on, and this kid with a jetpack turned up, saying that he was from this war that happened a few years ago, and they don't know how he could have been in this war because he's about 15 or something.
Right.
The war was 25 years previous or something, and the basic story in the book sets up the premise, kind of it has a little boy, Oswald, writing a letter to his absent father, basically saying how he wants his father to come back, and how his older brother isn't working as well on the farm because he's trying to work on building robots and stuff like his dad used to, and how his mum says that their dad's not coming back and stuff like that. And it's not quite like the review said that I'm reading. It's not quite a tearjerker, but it is kind of emotional. And for some reason that I want to find out, Oswald has got a hook hand, and he's 10. So,
nice.
So it's obviously some accident happened. But yeah, that one was cool. And Cursed Pirate Girl is really confusing. The one, it's basically this granddad talking to his two kids, and one of them goes, "Granddad," and he goes, "Please call me Alice." And they go, "Okay, Alice, can you tell us about this?" And he's going on about all these different pirates and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, we had one how he used to work on the ship where they hunted down pirate captains and stuff." And there was one where he said one of the easiest ones to get rid of was this pirate captain who was his own entire crew. And basically the picture of the captain, he's basically stood in a ship that's about as big as his feet. He's just stood on this miniature ship. He's got the mast sticking out of his hat. And he's just commanding all these different puppets he's wearing on himself.
Right.
To do all this stuff. And they basically defeat him by dropping the ship's anchor on top of him. And then there's this other one where the guy, they have to hunt down this pirate where one of the pirates they had to hunt down was a guy who, he was basically, he had that many like peg appendages. So it was basically entirely made out of wood, apart from like a few toes.
Well, like that guy on Family Guy.
Yeah.
Seamus. If there was a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. And there was one where they said some captain was quite mad. They basically they went after him, and he commanded all the people to take down their sails and throw them out the cannons or something, and start throwing banana peels at something. But then it shows you the captain, and it's actually like two monkeys, one of which is stood on top of the other's shoulders, wearing a captain's coat and hat. It's like, what the hell is going on in this? I basically looked at it, it's like, this makes no sense, but I really want to read it, just because it's so insanely funny.
Yeah.
But
they sound quite insane, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that whole book, it's deservedly so that it's got such good reviews, because I mean that shows like that company is willing to put anything into that, because those books obviously cost a shit ton more than free to be able to produce them. And it's such good quality as well. And so I thought I had to mention it, because that's like I've not read any of my other free comic book day books yet, but the ones that I am looking forward to are, there's a Buffy like one which is a flip book, and the other side is the Guild, and I thought that looks pretty cool, because I've seen like bits of series 1 of the Guild, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, and there's a Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Oh yeah.
There's free issue of Witchblade as well, which I didn't realise related to the Darkness.
Oh yeah.
So I want to read that as well, because at first I thought I had to flick through that one and opened it up, and it was like doing this premise where Joey Estacado is talking to this guy, and I'm like, wait, I've got issue 100 of The Darkness. This is in that. What the fuck's going on? Did I just get a story for free, which I'd paid for already? And then it starts on a different story. I'm like, oh, they must be related.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought they were separate stories for some reason. I can't remember why I thought that, but then afterwards I was like, wait, I recognise. Oh, of course, idiot. And then there was Sonic the Hedgehog one, and for some reason I got one which a flip book, one of which sides is Yo Gabba Gabba, which is a kids TV show.
I've seen that. That's very strange.
Yeah, I had no idea what Yo Gabba Gabba was at first when I saw that. I was like, I have no idea what this is, so I'm going to look it up. And then next time, the time I had Connor after I'd got that, we were over at my mum's, and it turned out Yo Gabba Gabba was on BT Vision. So we were like, okay, I'm going to put this on. I put it on. Connor was like entranced by it, and I was sat there going, what in the hell is this? But I tell you what, it makes a lot more sense than the Boo Bars. If you ever saw that kids show, the Boo Bars, that was insane. I remember watching it when being completely sleep deprived at 5 in the morning. I felt like I was on LSD.
Right.
It was crazy. And then once when recounting it, the memory was was apparently so stressful, my nose randomly started bleeding for no reason. But yeah, anyway, that was that. The other things I've got are 10 comic book characters that didn't debut in comic books.
Ooh, right,
I was kind of intrigued by this. I've pulled up another one as well since while we've been talking about the other ones, which is 10 female characters that are way too sexy for comics. We'll get to that. We'll talk about the 10 comic book characters that didn't debut.
I'm guessing Power Girl may make that list
first. Power Girl?
Yes. In their old costume, anyway.
Oh, well, yes. We'll have a look. They've got number 10, Chloe Sullivan.
Ah, yes, from Smallville.
From Smallville, yeah. Who never appeared in a comic book, and when she first appeared in in Smallville, she was the de facto stand-in for Lois Lane as Clark's reporter pal. And then she came into comics late in the DC Universe's pre-Flashpoint life in backups that featured Jimmy Olsen. And she's not appeared outside of those, but seeing as they've done the new 52, they can probably slip her in somewhere.
Right.
She's obviously been seen in the new digital-only comic Smallville Season 11 as well.
Right.
So she's number 10. Number 9 is Jessica Priest from the Spawn series.
Yeah, she was in the movie,
now,
I remember it.
Yeah, originally in the comics, Spawn, in Spawn's origin, Al Simmons was murdered by Chapel, who I didn't realise until reading this was a character created by the infamous Rob Liefeld in his Youngblood series. This was at the time that Image Comics was releasing shit tons of books, all with all of the Rob Liefeld books all had teams involving the word blood in their name. All the characters looked ridiculously similar, and none of them were fleshed out.
Right.
But that was the 90s.
Yes.
They've actually since they've actually started relaunching quite a few of the Image Extreme line of comics. So there's a new Youngbloods, I think, that came out.
Right.
I know there was a new Prophet, and there's a new Bloodstrike. I'm slightly curious to read Bloodstrike because it's written by Tim Seeley, and he's the same writer who writes Hackslash, which is one I get every month.
I've read a couple of
a really
issues,
good book.
Yeah.
I
think they were going to do a crossover with Army of Darkness comics. I'm not sure if they ever did or not, though.
What, Hackslash?
Oh, no, it was a crossover with Reanimator. That's what it was going to be.
Oh, that sounds like something that would have happened, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Prophet one actually looks, from what I've seen, everyone was like, oh god, they're relaunching those titles. But then they read Prophet number 21 and were like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I really want to read that. But anyway, Jessica Priest came about because when they made the 1997 live-action Spawn film, Liefeld owned the copyright for Chapel, and seeing as being murdered is a pretty major component of Spawn's backstory,
just a bit.
They had to come up with some other way to be able to do it, which is why they created the character Jessica Priest, who was the assassin played in the movie by Nikita's Melinda Clarke.
Of course she is.
Yeah, so the decision was made to alter her origin in Spawn, so Jessica Priest was actually the one who did the deed in the comic books as well.
Right.
A decision likely made even easier by the fact that Liefeld wasn't a part of Image Comics at the time. I kind of want to know how he did that, because I'm pretty sure Spawn and Chapel fought during those first issues as well, though, so...
It's been a long time since I read Spawn. Yeah,
I've got. I started reading Spawn because they were releasing the Spawn Origins trades, and I've got volumes 1 to 8 of it.
Right.
Spawn was always a character I kind of liked.
Yeah, they did a UK reprint around about the same time with the first movie. Well, the only movie came out, and I got a bunch of them then. It's a good book. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the more recent stuff. I did get the big hardcover of Hellspawn, which is pretty cool. At first I opened it and the art was really crazy, and I'm like, this
I believe
is
they did a Spawn
weird.
versus Batman or something like that.
Yes, they did. It was written by, to mention another person we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Frank Miller.
Right. Well,
yeah, apparently it's I'll send you, after the show, I'll send you a link to the Atop the Fourth Wall review of it.
Right.
Apparently, Frank Miller is of the opinion it's alright showing Spawn getting beaten to shit, but when it happens to Batman, it happens off panel.
Wow.
And it's at the point where Frank Miller's Batman writing is getting ridiculously stupid.
Okay. Well,
I'll like I said, I'll send you the review, and you can make up your mind as to whether to read it or not.
Okay.
I was put off anyway. Like, number 8 is Firestar, who appeared in
Spider-Man's Amazing Friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who the character was finally introduced to the mainstream Marvel universe in 85's Uncanny X-Men 193, and then went on to start her own miniseries.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. I'm not familiar with. I've not actually watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. The cartoon I always
You've never seen that?
No, the one I always think of when I think Spider-Man cartoon is the 90s one with the theme tune.
Oh, yeah.
Or Spider-Man Unlimited, which I didn't realise actually has a clip of that theme tune in the first episode.
Oh, yeah. It's on Netflix at the moment. My
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is on Netflix. I've seen.
Oh, is it as well? Oh, right.
Yeah, it is. All of them are on Netflix, so yeah, I need to check those out. And then number 7 is Bebop and Rocksteady. We've covered the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles before.
Yes, we have. Yes.
But they obviously appeared in that first, and then they appeared in the Archie's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure Series until they retired from a life of crime to live in a paradise planet. Apparently.
Okay.
They've recently appeared in human form in IDW's current TMNT comics as well.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
you see them in human form in the Turtles Forever movie I mentioned.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but they're also in that as Bebop and Rocksteady as well, which is quite strange.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, it doesn't quite match us.
Number 6, you've got Mercy Graves. I'm just going kind of quickly through these because I'm just realising that this is actually taking longer than I thought. Like for the 10 female characters, I'll probably just say the first 5.
Okay.
Number 6, you've got Mercy Graves, who first appeared in the 1990s Superman animated series,
right.
and then she appeared in comic books, and then inspired a live-action character in Smallville. She was Lex Luthor's bodyguard. She made enough of an impression to be introduced to DC's comic book continuity during the No Man's Land story arc, and became a superhero in her own right as part of Infinity Incorporated.
Right, okay. Wasn't she...
in Smallville, Cassidy Freeman was introduced, who was a hybrid of Mercy Graves and Eve Teschmacher from the original Superman film.
Right, okay. Oh, I thought, for some reason, I thought for a moment that it was going to be the character that Kelly Brook played in Smallville, but no, I'm wrong.
No, it's Tess Mercer.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah. 5 is Morph, who we've covered before, and it's kind of a technicality, so...
Well, it's changeling in it, but
yeah.
Moving on.
And then, number 4, Renee Montoya, who was in Batman the Animated Series, who was a detective, who was brought into the comics at the same year as Batman the Animated Series debuted, and later became one of the main characters for the acclaimed Gotham Central series, when she was outed, framed, and kidnapped by Two-Face. But she actually ended up becoming the new version of vigilante hero The Question in 2006-2007's weekly series 52. Her status in the new 52 is currently vague, but it likely won't be long before she appears again, because The Question appeared in the Free Comic Book Day book, apparently.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll have to check that out.
So, yeah. Have you not read it yet?
I've not read it properly, no.
No. Apparently The Question appears in that, so, yeah. Number 3, one of my favourite Marvel characters ever, X-23. X-Men Evolution followed up on the earlier X-Men cartoon, which we mentioned at the end of last episode, which is why we talked about Morph, obviously.
Yeah.
And X-Men Evolution, I remember that cartoon. I loved that cartoon.
Yes, so I did.
Well, and they introduced a young female equivalent of Wolverine named X-23. I kind of remember that episode, actually.
I don't think I've seen that one. Got it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it.
She became part of the comic books via NYX as one of the several Whalewood homeless mutants, and she starred in her own solo ongoing series, becoming a part of the X-Men and X-Force, and now, just as the X-23 solo series has finished, she's become a main component of the Avengers Academy cast.
Oh, right.
I was collecting that X-23 series, the final issue of that. There's no dialogue whatsoever in the issue, but the way they've done that Marjorie Liu wrote it, so and the way that it works with the art, that issue is absolutely fucking beautiful.
Right.
And she was, and I was rather pleased that when she actually said thank you to me when I told her that on Twitter. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but yeah, X-23 has got to be one of my favourite Marvel characters of all time. I actually, one of the tattoos I'm wanting to get involves X-23.
Ah, wicked.
Aye. Number 2, you've got Jimmy Olsen, which I didn't realise that he wasn't in comics first.
Well, yeah, that is a surprise, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually appeared as a product of the radio show The Adventures of Superman in 1940. Though a Jimmy-like character was not specifically named as such, was seen in the comics before that. Then Jimmy properly showed up in comics a year later, and the rest is apparently 4-color history. And then he's become a constant fixture. He's actually in DC's New 52, because if I remember correctly, he's one of the reporter friends of Lois Lane in the Action Comics series that's going on so far, in the one that's been on, because Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane are working for the Daily Planet, and Clark Kent's working for another paper, and they're both and they're all competing journalists, but they're actually those three are friends, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, and number 1 on the list is the most obvious one of all, Harley Quinn, because obviously she appeared in Batman the Animated Series first, and then became a cartoon character who is actually my sister's favourite DC character of all time. Really? Because my sister actually last time we had Manchester Comic Con, she actually cosplayed as Harley Quinn for it.
Oh right, okay.
And she's in the new 52's Suicide Squad. The recent couple of issues have covered Harley's origin, and, which is different, and it's kind of what I was expecting from it as well, because the whole thing, her skin being white, like the Joker's, the way that they presented it, it looked like it wasn't makeup like she put on in the animated series and the other stuff. So, but in this 2-issue origin thing, they actually cover that, which, to avoid spoilers, I'll tell you later.
Right, okay.
Or just go and look for it, because I can't recommend Suicide Squad as much as everyone was causing controversy because of the fact that her costume has ridiculously changed, so now she's scantily clad.
Have they not seen the Arkham City and Arkham Asylum games? Yeah.
But to be fair, I think the main controversy was once when she was coming onto Deadshot, and one of them said something along the lines of because they're about to, it looks like they're about to have sex. I can't remember. I think it's Harley says something along the lines of, "This reminds me about a joke about a clown car," talking about her own vagina, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of not right.
Yeah,
it must have been that, because all the controversy seemed to stem from everyone thought it was Deadshot saying it, which was basically, it sounded like Deadshot was making out she was a whore, when it was actually Harley making the joke. So,
right.
But yeah, and then the 10 female characters that are way too sexy for comics.
Yeah, we'll just fly through this list quick.
The list quick is you've got Vampirella, who I've not read much of, but looking at the picture, she's ridiculously scantily clad. So yeah. Dagger from the
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger. I've not really read much of her either, but the way she's dressed kind of reminds me of Emma Frost from the X-Men.
A little bit. Yeah, she doesn't cover up much. Yeah.
No, Psylocke.
Yes. Yeah. Not so much the original Psylocke, more the Quanon version.
Yeah.
Yes. You can tell she's she waxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zatanna, which I guess, but it's kind of accentuated by the fact that the picture in the article, which I can't remember, I don't think I've actually linked you to.
Yeah, I've got the article in front of me. Yeah.
Oh right.
That's not a sanctioned picture from DC Comics.
No, it isn't. It's one of her covering up her naked breasts.
Yes.
So it's like that's kind of accentuated.
That reminds me of the Justice League Triple X, the porn parody version.
Oh God.
Was in that, yeah. Yes.
But Zatanna's a pretty cool character. Starfire, oh God, that really leads to all sorts of controversy involving.
Terrible picture of Starfire.
Yeah, though the main culprit for this is Red Hood and the Outlaws #1, where basically that book is so broy. The whole thing is. At first, it started off good because it had Red Hood and the other guy in the story basically being perfectly fine, and then one of them calls in for backup. Red Hood, I think it was. No, it was the other one, not Red Hood. It was Red Hood because the other one was in prison. Sorry. And then he goes, I've called in the 32 Ds, and then someone goes, who's armed with that? And then Starfire appears over the thing, and it's like, oh, it was a reference to her breasts.
Ah.
And then he's like, is she with you? And then, are you with her? And then Red Hood's like, no, but I've been with her, if you get my meaning. And it just basically turns into this whole thing where Red Hood's basically just pointing at... Well, Starfire does all the work blowing up tanks and stuff to get out of the way, to get them free. Red Hood's basically just nudging the other guy in the side going, yeah, see the orange chick? Well, I gave that orange cream filling, know what I'm saying. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Apparently that's calmed down since the entire backlash at that. So, yeah, that's good. Next on the list, Cassie Hack. Actually one of my favourite...
We mentioned this, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes. She's one of my favourite comic book characters, and recently... a lass I follow on Twitter who used to be one of the Princess Cast hosts, but now she hosts a different podcast called, who goes by the Twitter handle Spaced for Simon Pegg. She actually cosplayed as Cassie Hack, and I ended up I got into a conversation with her going, I wish I had a girlfriend who'd dress up like that. Because... Yeah.
Well, ladies, you know our email address, you know.
Yeah, but seriously, the Cassie Hack books are really cool, and
yeah, I can buy
one of the pop people, Foxy, Kristen Allen, aka Foxy. She did the alternate cover for issue 9, I believe, which that's the one I've got. I've got that cover of that issue, and it's really cool. Her art is amazing, but yeah, Cassie's awesome. Next one on the list is Dream Girl, who I am not really familiar with. Tigra, which
put her on the list.
Again, I'm not really familiar with Tigra.
Yeah,
although I just remember on Twitter loads of people debating about whether it's pronounced Tigra or Tigra. Next on the list, Witchblade. Funnily enough, we mentioned this earlier.
Yeah, she doesn't wear very much in the way of clothes.
No, looking at that picture, that's yeah.
I'm surprised they got away with doing that TV series of Witchblade, to be honest with you.
They did a TV series of Witchblade?
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, hunt it down, man. It's not too bad.
I'll have to look. The only I just remember the anime style series of Spawn.
Oh, I've got all of them. They're wicked.
Yeah, I like that.
So good.
And oh god, Stripperella.
Oh.
Starring Pamela Anderson.
She's not a hero. She's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Of course, it was Stan Lee's Stripperella, wasn't it? You can imagine them eating there, you know. Just, hey, you're Pamela Anderson. Let me do a cartoon of you, and I'll draw you with the big boobies. Flip, flip, Excelsior.
Yeah. Crazy. And then the only other things I'm going to cover, seeing as I've been recommending titles, because this section's gone a bit long and a bit rambly, is I want to recommend to anyone listening Animal Man and Swamp Thing from the New 52. Basically, there's some stuff that it references to pre-Flashpoint things, but the way that they do the story in Swamp Thing,
How are they going to get around that?
What
reference pre-Flashpoint?
It's because in the new DC 52, the way it is, some of the stuff that have happened in comics pre-Flashpoint have still happened in this new universe. They might have, but the details might have changed and stuff like that. So by the looks of it, and most of the stuff that happened in the Batman series and the Green Lantern series seem to have stayed pretty much the same. So the whole War of the Green Lanterns and Blackest Night and all of that seems to have still happened, which is the reason why I couldn't follow the issue #1 of Green Lantern, because it wasn't an issue 1. It was basically continuing with a pre-existing story, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? It's basically talking about all this stuff that's happened. I'm like, well, I didn't read any of this. This is issue #1. You're supposed to explain this to me, and you're not. Whereas with Batman, the only thing with Batman was the fact that his current partner, his current Robin, is still Damian, which is obviously his son, and that Batman Incorporated still happened because there is Batwing.
Okay.
But yeah,
never quite understood how the public at large never got onto the fact that he's Batman. He's like, I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna put up the money so that he can have Batmans all around the world.
I think Batman Incorporated it's slightly more covert than that, but I've never read the Batman Incorporated comics, so I couldn't really explain it. But I think it's Batman funding them as Batman rather than as Bruce Wayne.
Oh, with the back credit card that he used in Batman and Robin then?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
But yeah, the only thing that it kind of references pre-Flashpoint for Swamp Thing anyway is the fact that Alec Holland is back alive again thanks to the Blackest Night storyline with the Green Lanterns.
Okay.
Because the Black Lanterns and the White Lanterns during that had 2 avatars, which turned out that one of the avatars was Alec Holland and the other one was Swamp Thing. Because obviously it was Alan Moore's story which revealed that Swamp Thing wasn't actually Alec Holland mutated into the Thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was he died and then his memories got put in those worms and then they all turned into the big Swamp Thing creature.
That's right, yeah. Confusing, but
yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. In the New 52, Alec is... I'm recommending Swamp Thing and Animal Man because this first series, that they're both coming out in trade soon as well, so you can just pick up the 2 trades, and they interlink quite well because both of them, it turns out that Animal Man's powers are that he called this animal grid or whatever, I can't remember what he calls it, turns out to be this big thing called the Red, which links all animal consciousness and stuff, and he talks to these big animal avatars. And Alec Holland's powers comes from the opposite, which is the powers of nature, referred to as the Green.
Right.
And they're both fighting the Rot, which is all these dead creatures wanting to, and this sort of dead god wanting to rot everything and turn the whole world into this wasteland and stuff. Okay. And the only way they're stopping it is by the looks of it. The storyline still hasn't finished yet, but Animal Man and Swamp Thing are going to have to work together to defeat the Rot. With Swamp Thing, Alec Holland, it's sort of the avatars of the Green are talking to him again. A previous Swamp Thing actually appeared to him and explained why he was chosen to be a Swamp Thing and how he could never turn back into a person and all of this sort of stuff.
Right.
And he said, which is why, and he said to him, I'm giving you the choice rather than you being forced into it like I was, and stuff like that. And then Alec Holland, at first he refuses because he's like, I don't want to become that monster again. but then his girlfriend Abby, turns out her family and her little brother were made to be avatars of the rot. So she gets kidnapped by them and becomes this weird creature thing in this newest series. And Alec basically goes, look, the only way I'm getting her back is if I become this creature again. So this time he decides to become Swamp Thing and has like all these. So he gets all the powers of the Green back again, and it's that's another story written by Scott Snyder. I'm probably not doing it justice the way I'm describing it, but seriously, you need to go check that one out. And with Animal Man, the only reason I picked that up at first was because I knew it tied in with Swamp Thing. And I was like, well, I want to read Swamp Thing, and I want to know what's going on with all of it, so I'm going to read Animal Man. And then it got to the part where the rot was infecting, Animal Man's brain and showing him all this stuff that happened. And then the graphics get, the pictures get really weird, and it's got things mutating into all weird shapes and it gets to the point where the art's like complete mindfuck, and I was like, holy shit, this book is awesome. And then it turns out that Animal Man, at first he thought he was one of these big avatars of the Red, but then it turns out the only reason they gave him his powers was to defend his daughter, because his daughter is the next avatar. And she starts discovering her powers. They only realize that because at the end of issue 1, she's resurrected all these dead animals by accident. And because she's like, oh, look what I can do. And then in one of the newer issues, this is spoilers, by the way, if you didn't guess.
Yeah.
I'm just mentioning random things. One thing that happens is she goes out to try and use her powers on these things sent by the rot, and they attack her and pretty much rip her body to shreds. She's like a 10-year-old girl, and the family's like, oh god, no! And then she steps out from the shadows and goes, oh, it's fine, that's not me anymore. And then they're like, wait, how that happened? It turned out basically because she's getting used to her powers so fast, she saw that they were about to attack her, jumped out of her own body, floated around in the Red for a second, and found this fox who was willing to give his body, went into that, and used the powers of the Red to change it back into her own. So the other one is just this empty shell of a person, and she goes, oh, we just need to return that back to the Red. Walks over, puts a hand on its forehead, and it disintegrates.
Oh, lovely.
And that book is way better than I thought it was going to be. At first, everyone was going, oh, that seems to be the hipster's choice of which the DC comics is best. But after I read it, I'm like, no, this is quite good, and the artwork is just freakish.
Right.
So, yeah, go check those out. I'm pretty sure you can, if you don't want to go out and get the trades, just get the single issue number 1s, or maybe go on Comixology and get number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a digital download somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, those are my 2 recommendations. I'm sure I didn't do them justice, but like I said, go check them out.
Yep.
See.
Okay, well, thanks for all the latest in the comics world there, Andy. We're going to move on now. I'll tell you now, nothing really happened in the world of TV this week, so we're going to bypass that section, and we're going to jump into any other business.
Any other business?
Okay, couple of bits here. I'll run through them for you. Right, the first one I've got here is about a man who was arrested this week for a hit-and-run offence in California, whose name was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What?
Yeah, yes. He legally changed his name in 1999 due to a radio competition where he could win $1,000 by being the first listener to change his name after the iconic Star Wars character. He was arrested on March the 19th on a charge of hit and run, was in court on April the 30th, and the man has been charged of walking away from a 5-car accident. It just says that he was driving recklessly and caused the accident. So, yeah, Obi-Wan there.
That is crazy. Again, this is one of those ones, one of these stories where the comments are the funniest part, where some guy put, let's hope the judges of Toydarian Jedi mind tricks don't work on them, only money. Someone put, yes, that's all very well, but it comes down to, these are not the droids you're looking for.
I was going to say, yeah, because the police would have come and looked at it. License and registration. You don't need to see my identification. We don't need to see his identification. Move along. But unfortunately it didn't work.
No.
But he's not the only person in the news with a funny name. This one may take me some time to discuss. Okay, it's a woman from Hartlepool, here in good old England, has given herself what she believes to be the world's longest name. Formerly Dawn McManus, she made the change to encourage fundraising for her charity Red Dreams, which is set up after the death of her son. From what it looks like people sponsored her, and she was then to use their name within her new name. And I believe it's 142 names long, and I'm now going to try and pronounce it. Okay. So, I've got, her new name is Red Wacky League, Antlers Broke the Stereo, Neon Tad, Bring Back Honesty Coalition, Feedback Hand of Aces, Keep Going Captain, Let's Pretend, Lost State of Dance, Paper Taxis, Lunar Road, Up Down, Strange, All Eye and Neon, Sheep, Eve, Hornby, Faye, Bradley, AJ Wild, Michael Rice, Dion Watts, Matthew Appleyard, John Ashurst, Lawrence Wales, Zoe Angus, Jaspreet Singh, Emma Matthews, Nicola Brown, Leanne Pickering, Victoria Davies, Rachel Burnside, Gil Parker, Freya Watson, Alicia Watts, James Pearson, Jacob Sutherland, Darley Beth, Lowry, Jasmine Hewitt, Chloe Gibson, Molly Farquhar, Lewis Murphy, Abby Coulson, Nick Davies, Harvey Parker, Kyron Williamson, Michael Anderson, Bethany Murray, Sophie Hamilton, Amy Wilkins, Emma Simpson, Liam Wales, Jacob Bartram, Alex Hooks, Rebecca Miller, Caitlin Miller, Sean McCloskey, Dominic Parker, Abby Sharp, Eleanor Larkin, Rebecca Simpson, Nick Dixon, Abby Farrelly, Liam Greaves, Casey Smith, Liam Downing, Ben Wignall, Elizabeth Hann, Danielle Walker, Lauren Glenn, James Johnson, Ben Irvin, Kate Burton, James Hudson, Daniel Mays, Matthew Kitching, Josh Bennett, Evolution Dreams.
That's fucking stupid.
It's long to say.
Yeah.
And do you know what the best thing to do? Sorry, love, can you just repeat that for me?
Yeah. The new Miss Dreams says she hopes she'll be allowed to use initials or an abbreviated version on her bank card and passport.
Oh, God, yeah. Can you give me a name that's written on the front of your card, please, love? It goes on to the back. So, yeah. That's the world's longest name, apparently. I'd like to know who's got the world's shortest name. Wouldn't it be Q from Star Trek?
Maybe Q from the Space Monkeys.
Ah, well, no, he's Brian Quinn.
It'd probably be Q from Star Trek if someone just changed their name to Q. Yeah. Or any of the members of the Men in Black.
That's very true. Ah, yes, didn't think about them. Yeah.
But then they're technically not on record.
Oh, yes, they straight don't exist. No names and no fingerprints, as the song says.
I was about to start rapping then.
Oh, God, so something strange about your back, because you never quite know where that MIB's be at.
Exactly.
I know that song inside and out. Oh, God. I've got all the lyrics going round in my head now, and I'm stopping myself from singing.
Oh, this just reminds me of a story all about how my life got turned upside down.
Did your mum pack you off to your auntie and uncles in Bel Air?
Yes. Oh, that actually reminds me about how I kept getting it was my mum's 50th birthday. And I kept getting my brother with stories. I was like, he kept saying stuff, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of this time at work. And he's like, okay. I'm like, oh, basically, me and Christine were talking about stuff, and and a buzzer went off. So we went to look at it, and it was the front doorbell, right?
Right.
And so we went, and it was someone we didn't recognise. Being night staff, we presumed it was a member. It was like a family member of like one of the people in the workplace. So we said, okay, show us your ID and that. And they're like, oh, we don't have any. I said, well, if you want, you can tell us what you're after, and then I can leave a message and you'll have to come back. And then the family member looked me straight in the eye and said, I need about $3.50. It was at this point...
What about this time?
that I noticed that she was a 3-story tall monster from the Cretaceous period. So I was like, dang it, Loch Ness Monster, I ain't giving you no $3.50. And I got him with that.
The other day, I gave him $3.50 for the go
away. I got him either 2 or 3 times doing that same thing, but starting in a different way. By the second or third time, he went, oh, for God's sake, just shut up.
I need about $3.50.
And I've been debating whether to use that at work, but I'm sure no one will understand.
Oh, God, you gotta do it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, God, if you get that into the next podcast without me spotting it first in the setup, that'll be weird. Well...
I shall try.
Okay, you have your mission. That's the only odd news I've got this week, then. Now, the only other thing that we've got for this pod, then, as long as it is, I'm sure I'm going to have to cut this down, we're going to have a flashback. Now, it's going to be a little bit different than how we normally do it, but yeah, we're going to move into the flashback section.
Behold the awesomeness of things that once were in Flashback.
And we don't have a specific topic for you this week. Andy, I sent you on a mission to collect some titles of obscure and forgotten animated series from the 80s and 90s. What have you got for us?
Well, so far, I need to bring up a couple of lists again. Obscure 80s, 90s, that's not what I'm looking for.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry, I'm just re-putting it in Google because I've lost the links. And,
see, I'm always organised. I've got you the show running list every week for you.
Yeah, and then I accidentally closed them.
Should be in your browser history, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did go on while I'm finding those, we can go on to Twitter and talk about a couple because we did put on Twitter
a couple of tweets. Yes.
Yes. I am connected to the internet, you stupid thing. God's sake!
I didn't say you weren't.
No, my iPod's just going, we can't connect you to Twitter because you're not on the internet. I'm like, well, I'm doing a podcast. I'm pretty sure I am. All my technology is failing.
No.
Christ. But we got one from where is it? Tom R.
Yeah. Computation _.
Yes. Oh, I'm presuming you know that guy then.
I do. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the MLG. And he's asked us to talk about the Groovy Ghoulies, which, knowing Tom, that he has not chosen that topic by coincidence. He's very much one for the innuendo, is Tom.
Right. I actually saw that and I was like, I have no idea what cartoon that is.
I haven't got a clue myself. So, to Wikipedia it is.
Yes.
Wikipedia. Right. I feel so strange typing Groovy Ghoulies into Wikipedia. Right, Groovy Ghoulies is an American television show which had its original run from 70 to 72. It was a spin-off of the original animated series of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It contained an adult laugh track. The Ghoulies were a group of hip monsters, many of whom were in look and sound pop culture echoes of classic film monsters created in the 30s and 40s, like the Universal monsters. They sang a pop song at the end of each episode. Okay, so we had a vampire called Drac. We had a character called Frankie. Guess what he was? Let's see, we have Wolfie, who was a wolfman.
Yeah.
Hagatha, which was a witch. Bella Lugosly, which I think is a cracking name.
That is kind of ridiculous.
A female vampire. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. A mummy. We had Bonaparte, who was a skittish skeleton in a Napoleon hat. Okay. Ghoulie Hand.
Jesus.
Oh dear. Batso and Ratso, who were two imp-like brats. Hauntleroy, who's a rotund, conniving, and selfish two-faced sissy kid in a sailor suit. Icky and Goo, new gargoyles. Tiny, who was a short mummy. And Missy, who was a ghost with one eye. Okay. Yes, I honestly don't remember this whatsoever.
I don't either.
No clue what it was.
No.
But apparently all 16 episodes, so it was long running, are on DVD now. So, they're including a 45-minute documentary. Who needs a 45-minute documentary about this?
God knows.
Also, commentary tracks on 2 episodes. What the... Really? Well, again, I have no idea what it is. So, sorry about that, Tom. But we can't really go in depth into that one.
Yeah.
What else did we get?
The other one we got was, I tweeted Linkara. He's the guy who does that Atop the Fourth Wall series that I said I'd send you the link for the review of Batman vs. Spawn.
Okay.
To see if he remembered any, because he's around our age. I
Right.
think he's actually the same age as me.
Right.
Because he was born in '87 as well. And he said Mighty Max.
Oh,
which,
right.
yeah, I do remember Mighty Max. I remember having
this.
a couple of the toys and having and seeing the cartoon, and I completely forgot about it until, funnily enough, that Space Monkeys show
Fab
where
Cafe?
we actually first met in the Fab Cafe.
Right.
Because while we were there,
Waiting for the show to start, they had TVs were running on a loop of various different clips from various shows, such as Batman the Animated Series, various bits and bobs. I believe Count Duckula was one of them, and they had the intro sequence and part of an episode of Mighty Max.
They did indeed.
Yes.
Which I remember quite enjoying that. The cartoon series was completely different to the the premise of the toys, from what I remember, but.
I don't remember much about the premise of the toys, to be honest with you.
The toys was basically just like a male version of those Polly in My Pocket things.
Oh, of course, yes, yeah. And it was all about a kid who used to hang around with a chicken, and and who used to look like Conan. And every time this hat started to glow or something, they jumped through a portal.
Yeah.
Into another piece of this alternate dimension. Now, what I'm looking at here, it says that the main bad guy in it was a guy called Skullmaster, who was voiced by Tim Curry.
Wait, what?
I have no recollection of that at all.
No.
I know the cat Susie did the voice on Max. Okay, maybe he didn't, because I've just looked it up there, and apparently Max was voiced by Rob Paulson. That's me told.
Yeah.
Tress MacNeille played his mum. Oh, cool. Kath Susie was one of Max's friends, right? Okay. Yeah, he was. Let's see. Virgil is the chicken. Is he? Yes. Yes. And a guy called Norman was the Conan guy. Okay, as you do. Norman the Barbarian. Schoolmaster, played by Tim Curry. Frank Welker played Warmonger, who was Skullmaster's right-hand man. He also played Lava Lord, whoever he is. I have honestly no recollection of half of these characters. Jim Cummings was in it. If you know Jim Cummings, he's the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. The only one
Ron
I
Perlman,
ever...
he was in it.
Huh.
Not knew that. No, well, it's interesting. Oh, it was one of these that had the educational epilogues, like the G.I. Joe, and now we know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
It had one of those,
Yeah.
so today we went to see the ancient Egyptians. Well, the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids and did that, and the other. You might find that handy if you do a report on the Egyptians in school. The end. One of them kind of deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently the merchandising was far more popular than the show itself. Each playset contained a Mighty Max figure, as well as one or more villains, and sometimes Virgil, Norman, or both. Yeah. Apparently the show generated a comic book that ran for 10 issues, a sticker album, and board games.
I kind of want to get the comic now.
I really don't.
No.
I'll tell you what that series that came to mind whilst we were discussing this. Do you remember Bucky O'Hare?
Yes, I do. That's the green alien rabbit guy, isn't it?
Goes where no ordinary rabbit would dare, yes.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember that. I don't remember much about it, but I remember the green rabbit flying around in a spaceship and doing weird shit.
The series itself was called Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. Now I remember last year at some point, I think it was, or maybe the year before, I got talking to this girl at this comedy night that I used to go to, and she was telling me all about her dad. Was he used to be like, when TV series would start up and they'd get shown to various channels over here and they'd get to bid on it who wanted to buy the UK rights and what have you.
Yeah.
This girl, her dad bought the rights to Hero Turtles. And, apparently it made him a fortune, an absolute fortune. And then he came across Bucky O'Hare, and he said, as much as I made a mint on Ninja Turtles, this is going to be the next big thing. I'm going to be minted. Bought the rights to Bucky O'Hare and lost everything. Just went down the pan. Yeah. To this day, he does not like anyone talking about rabbits, apparently. Because it's all back. I'm genuinely serious, yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. Funny enough, I was talking about this series yesterday. I still remember part of the theme tune. Captain Bucky O'Hare, he goes where no ordinary rabbit would dare. And he had a spaceship called the Righteous Indignation. Always remember that. And one of the lines
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. One of the lines is, if your righteous indignation has suffered a hit and your proton accelerator's broken a bit and you're losing your mind and you're having a fit, there's a funky fresh rabbit who can take care of it. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. Yeah, there you go.
Insane.
Yeah.
I really need to find that. That reminds me
I think that should be our outro this week, is the Bucky O'Hare theme.
I'm going to put. I'll probably end up putting a couple of songs to end this, because I've noticed like last week's ending theme was only like a 50-second clip, so I'll probably just I'll stick 2, because I'll stick my favourite like 2 or 3 or something. It's going to be a long episode anyway, so why the hell not?
Yeah. True enough.
Yeah, that reminds me of there's one 90s cartoon I've been trying to find out what the hell it was. I remember watching this because I've looked online for like all cartoons involving robots and stuff, and I cannot find it. At first I thought it was Gigantor, but it isn't. Not as far as I remember it. It was I remember the premise being some rich kid had he piloted this robot using a remote control, and it hid under the swimming pool. And like basically when he summoned it, the swimming pool like went back, and then this giant robot came out, and then he flew it around, and it saved the day.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I remember this show, but apparently this seems to be something that I've made up in my head. I cannot find evidence of it anywhere.
Robots under the swimming pool, you say?
Yeah, I've searched it and I have no idea what it is. Loads of people. When I found it, the closest I've ever got
was a cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the closest I've got was Gigantor, but when I've looked at clips of that, it's all black and white from like the 1970s. So unless they've remade Gigantor,
I've just done a little. Wait.
I can't figure out what it is.
No.
The only the other sections I've got for this are.
I found a website here. It's on toplessrobot.com. It's the 10 most insane child-warping moments of 80s cartoons.
Ooh, link me. I'm also on Topless Robot for another article
there we go.
That I was getting stuff for, which was the 10 most obnoxious 90s cartoon theme songs.
Oh, nice. Well, this one I've got the quick list for you is number 10, Shipwreck's family melts in G.I. Joe. Apparently so. Okay, it looks like they were faked plastic versions of his family. I'm not entirely sure. The Care Bears raised the dead in the Care Bears movie. Genuinely.
That is insane.
One of the characters dies, and then another one brings him back to life.
Turtle Human Lust in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, they were all after April O'Neil, which I'm not surprised about. The Smiths sing someone to death in the Smiths. God.
What?
Apparently so.
Oh, Jesus.
Sea Spray becomes a mermaid. Sea Spray loves a mermaid and becomes a mermaid and hits on Bumblebee in the Transformers.
Oh, that's what the hell that Transformers
Episode 48.
Called. I have a toy of him. I've
Jesus.
it floating around, and I've had it floating around for ages, and Connor plays with it, and I could not remember the name of that. And now this has finally reminded me of what the fuck that Transformer's called.
The next one I've got, My Little Pony and the Hosts of Hell.
What the fuck?
It's just basically up against demons, apparently.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Nuclear zombie children in spirals.
God, look at that kid! Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know what Spiral Zone is, but that sounds crazy.
Gem makes love
in Gem.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. The remorseless eating machine from the Inhumanoids. Where it looks like it's eating some kid. That's okay. Very strange. And Naked Thundercats. Oh yeah, from the first episode of Thundercats where they're all walking around with no clothes on.
What?
Yeah. If you ever see the pilot of the first ever episode of Thundercats, they're all walking around with no clothes on. It's weird.
That is insane.
Genuinely, it's weird, dude.
It's like that joke in Animaniacs where they're looking for fingerprints, and Dot comes and goes, "I found him," and pulls out Prince, and then Yakko says, "No, fingerprints," and then she kind of looks at him and goes, "No," and just throws it back through the window, and you're like, how the fuck did that get past the censors? And loads of random references in Rocco's Modern Life I've seen where it's like he was working at something that was obviously like a phone sex line and shit like that. Now, let's see, what else have I got?
What's that link you've got there? Yeah, show us that one.
10 most obnoxious 90s cartoon theme songs.
Throw that on for me.
Yep, there it is.
Okay.
We've got, before I go into that, while you're opening that, we've got the 20 best cartoons. I'll just, okay then. We'll go through this. I'm going to quickly pick a couple out of the 20 best cartoons that I've got, because quite a few of the best cartoons of the 90s are well enough known that we can talk about them in separate things.
Right.
And I'm going to skip the forgotten 80s, 90s cartoons. The 10 most obnoxious theme songs, you've got number 10 is Street Sharks.
I don't remember that show at all.
I remember that show. I do remember the theme tune, and it was a bit like, but I remember that, because I also remember Sharky and George.
Oh, Sharky, that had one of the best themes I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Sharky and George,
the Grand Busters of the Sea.
Yeah, I can never remember that because I always used to use that as the basis of taking the piss out of someone at high school. One of my friends, I think, just because we used to sing, because we were talking about the show, I think, at high school once when we were in year 7 or year 8, and one of our friends. For some reason, he remembered the theme tune as Sharky and George, it's a real limousine, and we were like, what the fuck is that?
A real limousine?
Yeah, we were like, how the fuck does that even... it was because we'd been talking about it, and then someone else came up and started trying to, mess us about or something, and then he randomly sings it at them. Except he changes it from Sharky and George to Goofries and George. Okay. It was like, what the fuck are you on, man? Number 9 in this list is one called Techno Man.
Never heard of it.
No, neither have I, but...
we'll move on then.
Yeah. Sky Surfer Strike Force.
Again, never heard of it.
No, neither did I, so we'll move on from that as well. Where's Waldo?
Where's Wally?
Where's Wally?
Where is Wally? Where is Wally? Where?
I liked that.
Where's Wally? Yeah.
But yeah, the intro, that's basically what it's saying, that It
right
was
at the end of the
obnoxious
intro,
because
just goes
it's like,
no, it's going like, where is Wally? Where is Wally? Where? There he is. It just goes
Yeah.
like that right at the end. I was like, all right then.
yeah, because I loved that cartoon show. I had a tape of it. I'm not sure where it's gone, but I had a tape of that show. That show was awesome.
I love just the fact every now and again, like the show would just pause and just goes, where's Wally? And it just have like a big frozen image on the screen. You have to find them.
Oh yeah, what before the break?
It was I believe.
Yeah, and it did like
it
gave you like 30 seconds or 15 seconds.
Yeah, try and
you had to find him, and then
you could be looking at one of the books for an hour.
You go, here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one on the list is Sonic Underground.
I don't remember the theme to it.
If this is the one I'm thinking, oh yeah, it is. It's the one with the with. I didn't realise that this was a 90s cartoon. For some reason, he's he's
band or something.
Yeah, they're in a band, and like he plays a guitar, and there's a whole.
Obsessed with chili dogs.
No, that's the original like 80s, 90s cartoon.
Oh right. Okay.
I think he's still obsessed with chili dogs in it, but it's like he's got his family in the like a pink one and a green one, and they like one of them plays drums, one of them plays keyboards, and Sonic plays a guitar, and they just it's ridiculous. Number 5 is Ultra Force. Although the comment says before the video says many extreme cartoons of the 90s fell short in their theme songs by not having lyrics. The otherwise hyper-manly Biker Mice from Mars is one of them, and the Fox's X-Men is another. Which I disagree. I
love the X-Men theme.
The X-Men theme is fucking iconic.
Oh God.
And Biker Mice from Mars, I like the theme tune for that. And it did have lyrics at the very beginning. It goes Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah, but that's not really lyrics.
But we'll talk about Biker Mice from Mars at some other point.
Another time.
Yeah, this one's you've got Ultra Force. I don't remember seeing it, although apparently the theme tune is just a man yelling Ultra Force while people meet a bunch of C-list superheroes.
Okay.
Their favourite is in this article on Topless Robot is apparently Contrary, who has a terrible superhero name and rides around in a hover chair. The superpower apparently involves stimulating the brain's pleasure points, but it's hard to make that edgy without violating broadcast standards.
There we go.
Number 4 is the Toxic Crusaders.
I used to love that show.
Kind of remember this.
Have you ever seen the Troma films, the Toxic Avenger films?
I think so, yeah.
If you haven't, you need to. It's really
I think I've seen the original Toxic Avenger, but not for years.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Yeah. But Toxic Crusaders, I think, is the...
yeah.
It says not as heavy as the actual Toxic Avenger film theme song.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
Number 3 on the list is Botsmaster, which I remember this show being fucking amazing.
I've again no memory of it.
Yeah, I remember watching it on Fox Kids, and I loved this show. I was trying to figure out for ages, like a few months ago, what this show was called, and I came across it again. I was like, yes, this is it! Awesome! And I just loved the whole intro. This is the other one I was considering for the end of the episode. Is the whole intro is like rap music.
Right.
It's awesome. It's got the robots that it's basically about this guy called Ziv Zoolander who made all these. He's basically fallen out with this Oscorp. No, not Oscorp. Botscorp, something like that. I realised. Wait, Oscorp is Spider-Man.
Yes.
It's something like that anyway. And he's rebelling against them. And he makes these these robots that he calls the Boys Brigade. The boys spelt with 2 Z's at the end.
Okay.
For Ziv Zoolander, obviously.
Well, of course.
And it's got 3D effects and stuff, so you can put on 3D glasses and shit. And stuff like during the fight scenes, things would stick out at you and stuff. It was... I thought it was a cool show. Although, thinking back to it, one of them was called Ninjas. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of a ridiculous name. But, Yeah, I still say that cartoon's fucking awesome.
Never heard of it. No memory whatsoever.
Number 2 on the list is Wild Cats. I don't remember that.
No.
Number 1 is Stunt Dogs. Spelled D-A-W-G-S.
I have no idea what that is.
No, neither have I, but it's just that spelling of the word dogs, I'm skipping it.
Yeah.
Then the last thing I'm drawing cartoons from to see if we can talk about them is on brains.org, which is 20 best cartoons of the 90s.
Right.
Which is number 20 is Darkwing Duck.
Oh, I used to love that.
Yeah, that show is awesome. We're going to have to talk about it properly at some other point because there's comics and stuff of that as well.
Oh yeah.
Number 19 is Doug.
Oh, Doug was amazing.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was
I used to love it.
Though like
Skeeter and everyone. It went a bit stupid the Disney episodes, like, but.
Eh?
Yeah, it went a bit stupid with the Disney episodes, but the Nickelodeon ones are boss.
I don't remember there being a difference, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole look changed, yeah.
Number 18 is Tailspin, which I remember that.
I vaguely remember that.
Basically,
don't remember it starring Baloo the Bear.
I was going to say I don't remember it using Jungle Book characters. I just remember it being an anthropomorph, like loads of anthropomorphic.
I remember it being a bear, yeah. That's strange.
Okay. Rocko's Modern Life, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, which is full of sexual innuendos and was written by a man who had no experience with cartoons or kids.
Well, the dog is called Spunky.
Yeah.
So, and the guy who made Rocko went on to make SpongeBob SquarePants. So make of that what you will.
That makes sense. I have to watch that all the time, seeing as Connor's obsessed with SpongeBob.
Yes.
And SpongeBob, I admit, someone, I know when I was over at Mum's house last with Connor and we were watching it, my sister and her fiancé Ash was there as well, because my sister still lives at my mum's.
Right.
And Ash was saying, oh yeah, I saw online someone had made a stoner version of this. I just looked at him and went, SpongeBob SquarePants is already the stoner version of itself.
Just a bit, yeah.
I just remember I just sort of played through, was playing them. I went, oh, I've got to go on Netflix looking for this specific one. And then Simon goes, why? I said, you'll see. Put it on. And it was pre-hibernation week. And then the music comes on. It's like, beer, for the theme tune. And I went, and then I think it was my brother who was there, who said, why have you got to put this on? I said, you'll see when you see the special guest musicians. Special guest musicians? Pantera.
Nice.
I was like, this is the most awesome thing ever. One of the most metal bands is doing music for SpongeBob.
Everyone loves SpongeBob, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. And it probably helps that they were all massive stoners. Number 16 on this list is Pinky and the Brain. That's
yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Number 15 is The Critic.
I love that show. That was the John Lovett's animated series. It's really good. It did a crossover with The Simpsons. The one where they have the Springfield Film Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't they call him weird because he'd turn up and he'd have 5 fingers and he's pink?
Well, yes. They did.
Oh. Fair enough.
Yes.
Number 14 is Tiny Toons Adventures. I had a tape of that as well, which...
I had a Game Boy game of it.
I just remember them singing a load of They Might Be Giants songs.
I don't remember
that. On this tape that I had. Bobby's World is number 13. I don't know what Bobby's World is.
I've never even heard of that.
Number 12, another
Animaniacs.
Earlier, Animaniacs.
Great.
Which
mental as you like, but brilliant.
Yeah, though I still say my favourite cartoon that they ever made by those people was Freakazoid.
Oh, Freakazoid. Dun, 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 dun.
Freakazoid. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Freak him, chimpanzee.
Yeah. I just like the last line of it.
I love the line, his brain's overloading, he's made of chocolate coating.
Yeah. I just like the He's here to save the nation, so stay tuned to this station. If not, we'll be unemployed. Freakazoid, Freakazoid. And it just, when it says, if not, we'll be unemployed, it just has the entire cast just wearing barrels.
Joe, the best part of Freakazoid for me was, hunt, 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 he's the huntsman, fighting evil is his game. And it's just like, he'd always be called in for, like, I'll go off and save the day. It's like, you're alright, we've already done it, lads, you know. And by the time he'd get there, it'd, like, take him about 14 years to get there, but by the time he was done, like, the whole city would be bankrupt because the villain had stolen all the money or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just remember...
And they'd just go, hunt, at the end. You know what that's a replacement for.
Yeah. I just remember Candlejack, because loads of people would... like, they'd do the whole thing where people would say Candlejack and he'd just appear and take people. My favourite thing ever from that show was the whole thing. This episode is presented in Screamo-Vision. Scream. Ah! Very good. I just remember that, and it was insane.
How the hell did some of these shows get on the air? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I really wish that they'd put Freakazoid on a DVD, because that show is insane.
It's got to be out there somewhere.
Let's carry on. Yeah. List.
Yeah.
Number 11, King of the Hill.
Brilliant.
I watched a couple of episodes of that. It was pretty...
Some on DVD somewhere.
Yeah, it was alright. Number 10 is Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I love that. I really like that show. There's actually one with Ross Noble on it. Really? Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah. Funnily enough, talking about nerdcore people that I actually mentioned earlier as well, the nerdcore guy, Adam Warrock, recently released a free EP on his site called Ghostal that is based on Space Ghost, that was inspired by Space Ghost Coast to Coast. So if you like nerdcore and you like Space Ghost, go to adamwarrock.com and download it. Okay. Number 9 is The Tick.
I remember that show.
I just remember him turning up and going, Spoon!
Did you ever see the live action series?
There was a live action series of The Tick?
Patrick Warburton plays him.
What the fuck? I just remember in the cartoon where he was in the first episode he was debating what his battle cry would be, and they're trying to come up with things, and he just yells, Spoon!
It's brilliant, man. What's the live action series? Because it's got Richard from Lost playing Batman well. It's fantastic. You need to see it.
Good. Ren and Stimpy?
Yes.
I kind of remember that.
You don't remember Ren and Stimpy very well? Oh, it's brilliant.
I remember I just don't remember much of what happened in the episode.
Absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane. When it was showed over here, it was on Nickelodeon for some reason. But then it was on BBC Two, but they had to put it on at like 11 o'clock at night because it's mental.
Yeah, described as frightening and often violent.
Yes.
Which caused the show's first director to be fired.
Yeah. John Kay, yeah.
Duo returned to television briefly in 2003, only to be removed once he began delving into plot lines that were considered too adult for a television.
There's one episode called Son of Stimpy, which is Stimpy he's just hanging around and all of a sudden he just farts.
Okay.
And he basically makes out that the fart is his son. And he cares for it and everything. And eventually Ren tells him to let the fart out, and the fart disappears. And he goes off and makes his way in the world, and he comes back and he's like a businessman. He's got like $1 million and stuff, and he gives it all to Stimpy. It's weird. the fart's got a face and stuff. It's pretty strange.
That sounds really weird.
It's funny as anything, dude.
Number 7 on this list is one we've actually just been talking about, mentioning Pantera, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep.
Number 6 is Daria.
Yeah, the spin-off from Beavis and Butthead. Yeah.
Is it actually a Beavis and Butthead spin-off?
Yeah, because Daria was in Beavis and Butthead. She went to school with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Family Guy.
Still going strong.
Yep. I don't really consider that as a 90s cartoon.
Well, technically it is.
It started in 99, so...
Yeah.
Futurama.
Oh, yeah. Still love it.
Yep. Beavis and Butthead.
I love the film.
I've not seen it. I just remember watching clips of them riffing over videos. And
it's back.
I want to see the
new ones?
Yeah, it is. I want to see the film just because it appeared in the Nostalgia Critics top 11 mind fucks in a movie.
Again, you need to see the film. Yeah, there's the whole sequence where they eat the mushrooms.
Yeah, that's what the scene I'm thinking of. I've seen clips of that and saw what the fuck was going on. I was like, what the hell? I need to see this.
Insane.
Yeah. I just remember seeing clips of them riffing over the video for Chuck Schuldiner band Death performing The Philosopher, which, that song is amazing, and then just Beavis and Butthead riffing over the top of it is kind of crazy.
You need to see, what's that, Whippy? Was it Devo, is it? They do a sort of, they're talking over the top of that. It's weird.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then the other two on the list are South Park and Simpsons.
Well, they're obvious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Simpsons isn't even technically a 90s cartoon. It started in the 80s.
Did it?
Yeah. 89, the first episode, the Christmas special. The Simpsons roasting on an open fire was 89.
Oh.
There you go. It even says in the article there, December 17th, 1989.
Fair enough.
Only a couple of weeks, but still not technically the 90s.
Yeah. How have we ended up with an episode the same length as the pilot?
I have no idea, sir. No idea. I blame MTV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well.
But yeah, we'll end that. I think
we'll end there. Yeah.
One cartoon I did want to mention that was on another list that I apparently closed was Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh God. Oh God.
Did you not like that?
I didn't like that at all. So.
Oh, I was a fan of that show.
Such a rip-off of Ninja Turtles. Wasn't even funny.
Although, speaking of cats, I also liked Swat Kats. Swat Kats was awesome.
I have no idea what that is.
That was basically the whole premise was anthropomorphic animals again. This time they were all cats, obviously.
Right.
And these guys were like these secret vigilantes. Except they were normal. Their normal jobs were like working as like mechanics and stuff in the scrapyard. But then when people would monsters and stuff would threaten Cat City, I can't remember what the name of the actual city was. It was something like that. And then basically they'd go get into their gear and they'd fly around in this massive custom jet. And they'd fucking blast things to shit. And they had one of them was the ace pilot, and the other one was the tech guy who came up with all these ridiculous missiles and weaponry for the jet. I remember one missile that actually had blades all over it to cut through stuff, and one missile that projected sonic frequencies to disrupt things. And all sorts of crap like that, and I think they'd eject and do hand-to-hand combat with people and all sorts of cool shit because the jet had an autopilot, and I just really loved that show. And just the theme tune is so immensely awesome. I was debating on whether to put the Botsmaster theme tune on, but now I've mentioned SWAT Kats, fuck it, I'm putting the SWAT Kats theme tune on. No, fuck it. I said I'm putting 3 on, so I'm putting on the Bucky O'Hare theme, SWAT Kats theme, and Botsmaster.
Go for it.
We've got a 3-hour episode anyway, so why not?
3 hours, 3 songs. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there. Well, it's out with the old and in with the new, so join us next time for some more news, more reviews, and more random nonsense for Attack of the 50-Foot Nerds. My name is Mike Bell.
I'm Andy Wiz.
Geek out.
Street boys, get on the planet, and then a jam, a diabolical plan of only one man. A Paradigm International Sports got an army of 3 A's, or he'd be for jump.
Yeah, get made us. You forgot about the boys and the guy who made us. Zoolander, master of boy spots.
We undermine the plot. We're split boys, and we like making noise.
And that's a tasty heat. But don't forget, you're what you eat.
Tommy Watson, let me swivel and say, I rock to the dock and I save the day.
Daddy's the name and the brain is my day. Genesis, any problem I can fix.
My name is Ninjas, the bang hinges. How I use my sword when it singes.
I'm Zoolander, ZZ for short, you know I fight the corp, I'm the boss master. Listen up, you all, you're the boys brigade. When it's laser time, put on the 3D shade. Laser time, boys!
Boxmaster.
monster. Game over. Another dimension, another time and space. A parallel universe is falling on its face. When out of the chaos, who else could it be? But the animal adventurers from SPACE. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. Mutants and aliens and toads beware. You're looking for adventure, well this is it. With Jenny, Dead-Eye, Blicky, and Willie to win. I said Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Now on a plate on Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Menace.
In the battle of the universe, you don't know what's next. You only know amphibians have made it complex. When you check out your scanner and the evil that it poses, there's only one course of action. Let's cook us some toad! Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. He goes when no ordinary rabbit would dare. If your righteous indignation has suffered a hit, and your photon accelerator is broken a bit, and you're losing your mind, and you're having a fit, get the funky fresh rabbit who can take care of it. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. You say Bucky? I said Bucky! Bucky O'Hare. Let's croak us some toad!
If you've enjoyed the nerddom in your ears, then please follow us on Twitter at 50footnerds, or email us anything except spam at 50footnerds@gmail.com.
Ay, 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 there's an idiot outside just in strange leather clothes on.
For some reason, there's a man with tits.